Right, we're back again. Thanks for all the comments last night. It's doing quite well on YouTube. So we've got the LED light strips in. We've got the spotlights in as well. John is going to finish plasterboarding today. I'm going to show you a little bit more about plasterboarding as well. He's going to finish that today, and he's going to run the power as well for the sockets and the heater as well. So what we're going to do today, what we were going to do yesterday, is fit these doors and windows. Now, this is only a 3-metre build. We could have got bifolds in here. And the build pack shows bifolds, but the customer wanted French doors, so French doors we are fitting. We're also fitting a window there as well. It's split down centrally there and it opens that way, so we're going to fit that too. Right, before we start, what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the base here, and we're going to see how level we are. So what I'll do is I'll just stick my level on it first, port of call. It's an 1.8 level, that. Can you see it, David? Yeah, it is slightly, ever so slightly out, but if you can see the level there, look, Davey. Yeah, we've got a little rock in that, so what we need to do is get rid of the rock, yeah, and provide a nice level base. So before we do that, we will clean it down. Excuse me. It's not raining today, so what we're aiming for is a nice, dry, clean sill, so that when we put our silicone on it, it seals nice and tight. I'm going to give that a clean, get rid of all that crap off there. And then while I'm doing this sill, I'm going to let that dry. Right, get rid of that. Right, so we'll let that dry off, and then we're going to get a laser on that in a minute, and we're going to level it out. But first of all, we're going to dam the sill. Right, what is damming the sill? If you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I've got bifolds, this video ain't much good to me. I'm going to drop in a video. As soon as I fit these, I'll drop in a video on how to fit the bifolds. Right, you can see the holes in the sill there. What they are for is when your doors fit, so your door will sit there, yeah, stand up there. Any rain that comes down there will drop down there, it'll run down into there, it'll go into that hole, and then it'll go into the sill, because obviously the sill is hollow. Now, what we don't want, we want, see them holes there? That's where we want the rain to come out of, not out of the sides, because if it comes out the sides, so let's say that's your window, your door or your window going up there like that. If it comes out the sides, it's got a chance of tracking back into the room. So what we want to do is fully dam this piece of sill here, which means filling it with silicone. So any water that comes into the sill, there's nowhere else to go but out the drain holes at the front there. So what we'll do, we'll get some clear silicone, we'll fill that, and then we'll stick the end caps on and see how they look. These are the end caps, so these go over the, they've got a little lip there as well. So if you've had to cut your sill down and it's a bit rough, that little lip there, these are from Express Bifolds, these, by the way, that little lip will cover that. Now, I don't know why, and we never did find a decisive answer why that little piece is on there, because it doesn't actually fit in there. So what you need to do is cut that little piece off like that, and then that will then sit on there like that, nice. Your doors will sit there like that, and then your cladding will butt up to that, and obviously that's loose, yeah, but when we dam that now, it's going to get filled with silicone. This is just a normal clear silicone. You can buy some more expensive one if you want, but this will do the job. Right, so clear silicone, what I'm going to do, look, it's going to fill this, get rid of that burr. And also fill that. We don't need to fill the back because that's never going to come in contact with rain anyway. So I'm going to get that now. Pop it on there like that. Yep, and you can see now all the silicone's excess has popped out. We use some of these trade wipes. These are great. If you've never seen these before, they remove silicone great. What you want to do now is make sure you clean up your sill properly. Yep, and just wet my finger, stop silicone sticking to it, and just flatten that over there like that. And that's dammed now. It's called damming the sill. So that's dammed. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side, and that sill will be ready to go in once we've set up a level field for it. Right, so I'm using a laser. Now, I appreciate everybody hasn't got a laser. But I'm going to show you with the level as well. But you can get something like this on Amazon now for like 120, 130 quid. And they're always a great bit of kit. And there's loads on the market that same kind of model as this. This is a Club Iona, but they look exactly the same. So I'm assuming they're made by the same company and they're just rebranded for everybody. Right, if you remember, the level was showing level, slightly out fractionally. But we had that rock on it there. So what we must assume is that is the highest point. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark up where I'm going to have my fixings in. So I'm going to come about 150 mil in. I'll dodge. What will I do? I'll put that there because I don't want to screw through and hit one of them screws. So I dodge that. We're going to have a fixing in the middle. We're going to have a fixing in the middle of that one there. Oh, we'll dodge that one. And we'll have a fixing there as well. So I'm trying to dodge them screws. So that's where I'm going to put my fixings. That's where I'm going to take my measurements from. So if you look at that, you tell me if you can't see it, Davey. You can. Right, I've got 140 mil. It's just fractionally lower. I've got 138.39. I've got 136.37. When I say that, it's in between them, isn't it? 137.38 and 138.39. So that proves that that's right, yeah, because we can see that rock in there. So what you might want to do if you've only got a level. So let's try this with a level first. And put that packer there. That's too high. And put that packer there now. Sit that. It's not bad. Right, let's have a look at what we're doing there. So that's a little bit loose under there. That fits under there lovely. We'll sit that one there. I want to just, we're going to keep that one on there. Raise that up. That needs to go a little higher. So what we'll do is, these are all, that's 1 mil, that's 2 mil, that's 3 mil, you know what I mean? So that's what's going on here. So I'll pop that there. Right, that's looking pretty good now, is that? That's just a little bit loose. That there's just annoyingly. Yeah, that's not bad at all, that. Right, let's have a look. Can we get a green in there? We can. Right, so what we've got now is, have a look what we're getting here. Right, so there's no rock in that level now, yeah? It's, you know, it's an old level, but that's looking pretty much bang on in the middle level there. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to test that with the laser. Right, tape measure. Right, so what I'm going to do is push down them there, push them down to compress them, because obviously, you see that, so you need to push them down. So I've got 135.36, 135, 135, 136.37, so that's a little bit low. 135. So I'm going to stick another green on there. In fact, we'll swap that for a black. And just recheck that again now. And we're good. Right, so that's what we're going to go with. Yeah, now if your opening is a lot bigger than this, then literally you need to find your highest point and then use your level and work out from there. But don't forget, your level might be out, so rotate your level if you're going one direction or the other, and that'll resolve that. So we know we're good at that. What we're going to do, flick that off. Right, I'm going to put the sill down. Now, what we do is, let me just show you this. Right, the frame is 70 mil. So the frame will sit, it'll sit back to that lip and it will sit there. Right, so the frame itself is 70 mil. The little upstand lip there, that's 2 mil. So I've set this square to 72 mil. So what I'm going to do now is just put that there like that. And that there is where the back side of my frame wants to sit. What I'm doing, I'm sitting the square on the front of the OSB there. And again, yesterday, the reason why they're in is because I ordered add-ons. So what happens with your doors, you get your doors at a certain size and then you put a 20 mil or a 40 mil add-on on the side. It helps with the door opening wider and reveals, but I forgot to do that on the structural opening, so we've had to do away with them. That's why the opening was a bit big, so we've thrown some 11 mil OSB on there, which is fine, no problem. Right, Where are we? Right, so I need to silicone this because what we don't want is any water going underneath it. I put a big blob there, and then when I get to the packer, look, I'm going to blob over the packer as well. So we know then we've got a continual bead of silicone which will stop. And the reason why I've just put them to the side of the line is what I don't want is my screw to go through and actually shatter the packer. So I'm just popping them to the side of the line. It's quite important that you put a lot of silicone on there, and it's also important that you put the line where your screw is, because in a minute you're not going to be able to see that screw. Just enough, look, John. If you could just change that for us. Right, so what John's going to do, he's going to hold the sill at one side for me on the line, because what the sill's going to want to do in a minute, it's going to want to tip out and cantilever out of the room, which of course we don't want. John's going to hold the sill there. He can see his line. You good? I'm going to see my line. I'm going to lower it down. You on your line, John? Yeah. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to push this frame to John. Yeah, I'm going to look at that gap, and now I'm going to even the gap. Right, John, you got it clamped? Yeah. I'm just going to use a 100mm screw, and we are going to fix it through the thermal brake. Make sure it's on the line. Squeeze that down. You on the line, John? Right, John is still on the line, so what I'm going to do is just carry on there. You can see the silicone compressing out. So what I'm doing, you can see the screw, look, you see how it's compressed the thermal brake? I haven't actually drove it any more than that. Because it'll shatter it. That just hit a joist hanger there, that's what the resistance was there. And what we're going to do now is, did you get us another silicone?
It's full.
What is that? Is this the white now?
No, it's clear.
It's white.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know you got white.
Yeah, I don't know why I have, to be honest with you, because I made a bit of a mistake, John, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I'm just going to put a bit of silicone over the top of them screw heads, just to stop any rainwater going down and getting in the thread and going through and hitting the floor, corroding the head, whatever. Just seal them in there. Right, so that's the sill. We know that's in nice and level. Now what we need to do now is get some silicone on the ends there. See it white coming through?
Oh yeah.
We might have to look in van for some clear, because we're going to see that. Right, so that now, any rainwater that goes down there, yeah, is not going to transfer back into the room. Yeah, what's going to happen to it is it's going to go down, where are they, David? Down them drain holes and out the front as requested. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to try and prevent ourselves from damaging these windows. So I'm going to put a mark there again with my square, because that is where we know we want the doors to sit. And what I'll do then as well is I'm just going to put a block of wood, little offcuts like that, and I'm going to keep it back from the line. Can you see that, Davey? Look. Yeah. I've kept it back from the line simply because when we fit these, if our wall isn't completely plumb, we've got some wiggle room, but this is to stop the doors from falling back into the room. So obviously you've got a lot of money's worth of doors here if you've gone and bought new and they're aluminium. And you don't want them damaged. So you can see I step back from the line. I've got another 2 blocks there, because when these doors are in, what I'm going to do, I'm going to screw that onto there, and it will trap the door in there, and the door can't fall in and it can't fall out, and then you can then start going solo. But see John over there, he's holding the doors ready to go in. French doors, 2-man job, triple bifolds, 3-man and so on, because they are heavy and you don't want to scratch them. So I'll take that bit of film off there, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some mill packers, and I'm just going to sit the packer on the sill, and I'm going to make sure there's no, you know when it's injection moulding, you've got them little bits sticking up, make sure there's none of them on it, because what will happen is when you pull that packer out, it will scratch the sill. That packer there is designed to protect the sill from getting scratched when I lift it in. Right, what I'm doing now, we've swapped back to clear because we found a bit of clear in van. So now I'm just going to put a line of silicone on the back of that upstand there, because what will happen is that frame will come in, it'll hit that upstand and then seal again there. So David's just going to hang fire there, and then we are going to offer these up. I'm going to get rid of that cable there because I know for a fact that's going to catch on it and stop us going in. So we're looking good. And what we're going to do, we're going to rest these on our boots because we don't want the bottom of the sill getting wet, because it ain't going to stick to the silicone. Sorry, John. It ain't going to stick to the silicone properly then. Right, we're going to get approximately where it wants to go, which we're not far off there. John's a lot lower than me because of the ground there, so he's going to have to lift a lot higher. What we're going to do, we'll try and get the top in first and then slide the bottom in. There you go, John. Yeah, they have on mine as well. Just chill. Just lift it a touch. Right, just hold it there. It just popped out. There we go. Right, just slide it in, John. Right, can you see that, David, now, look? Yeah, it's pushed to the back, hasn't it, yeah? Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to screw these on here, and then that will stop. Can you see that, David? Yeah. That will stop the frame from falling out. So it can't fall out, it can't fall in. It's got nowhere to go. The only thing that could possibly happen now is it pop out at the bottom. And then what I'll do now, I'm just going to pull these packers out, pull them up as I pull them out, and that sill now will drop down into its final position, which it has done. Push it back so you can see they've got wiggle room in the top, which is what I wanted, but the bottom rather is pushed back to that silicone, and when we come to fix them now, that is how we will be fixing them. So what we don't want is when you open that door there, is the weight of the door pull the frame out, which is obviously not what we want. So I can now open that. Yeah, the top's wanting, can you see the top now, David? Look, watch when I let go of it. It's wanting to pull out, but of course them blocks have stopped that from happening. Yeah, so we can now fix the frame. And what we're going to do is we're going to get that frame in line with that sill. Like so. Yeah. And then we can start getting some screws in. Right, where are we going to screw it? We're going to screw through the thermal brake. The thermal brake basically, you've got a piece of metal there, you've got plastic thermal brake, and then you've got metal there, so it stops obviously the heat transfer going into the room, the cold. That's thermal brake, that's the idea of it basically. So what we're going to do now is get some screws in the base. So I know full well that I've screwed there. So what I'm going to do now is screw through there to that side, because the reason why I put that line is I don't want that screw to hit the head of that screw. And I push this frame back, and I'm just going to pop my glasses on just so I can see how much I've got that screw down. Again, don't want to actually break the thermal brake. You can see that it's just slightly compressed it. Can you see that, David? Yeah. So I've opened the other door now. Again, just going to the side. You can see how far I've sunk it there. It's just compressing the plastic just a little bit, which is what we want. And if you notice, I'm pushing back on that sill so it's hitting that upstand, because what we don't want it hanging forwards. Right, and what we'll do then is, in fact, we won't do this now. What we'll do, we'll wait until the doors are fixed, because all these little bits of aluminium there, we don't want them sat in the silicone. Now, if you want to be real fancy, you can get yourself some anthracite silicone and you'll never see them screw heads again. We haven't actually got any at the moment. We might get some. Should we do that at the end, John? John's going to nip out after breakfast and he's going to get some bits and pieces. So what we'll do, we'll get some anthracite silicone. So when we cover them screw heads there, it blends in with the door. Right, so my bottom's fixed. Yeah, can't pull that out anymore. Top now needs fixing and it needs plumbing, but they're good to work on now. They can't actually come out or go anywhere. Yeah, so what we'll do now, we'll start with this leg. We're going to get a laser on that leg, but I'm going to show you it with a spirit level as well. This can now come off because that door, all it ever wants to do is fall out because the weight of the door is leaning forwards. So it's never going to fall back into the room now. Get rid of that. And that will enable us then to plumb this leg properly. I'm going to use a laser. You can use a level. Where's the level? Like I say, it's £100 odd for a laser on Amazon. It's a no-brainer, really. So what I'll do now is I'll have a look at that. You can just see there, look. You can see, David, it's out. It wants to go that way. So what I will need to do is send that over that way, which I'm going to do in a minute. We will have a look at that, going that way. Again, it wants to come back into the room a little bit, but what I'm going to do now is show you how we're going to get that back into the room. Like I say, I'm going to use the laser. Shall I use the level? Because, should we do one leg with level and one leg with laser?
Yeah.
Shall I, John, yeah? Right, okay. Right, what we'll do then, we'll do this right leg with the level and we'll do the other leg with the laser. Simply because I appreciate not everybody's got the laser. Right, so we're going to do this leg with level and we're going to do that with laser. Right, so we know that we're leaning into the room, so we need to get rid of that lean now. Can you see that level there, David? Yeah, it's slightly out. So what we're going to do, make life easy for ourselves. Can you see that wedge up there? I'm just going to put that packer behind that wedge. Yeah, so that now has sent that door 2 mil into the room. And that there is, let me see, still fractionally out, so we'll swap that one for a white one now. Got a white one on there now. I'm going to have a look at that. Yeah, I mean, it was actually better with the black, so we'll return back to black. Even though there's a mil difference, it actually wants half a mil on it, so we obviously haven't got a half mil packer. Right, so we're going to go with the black one on that now, so we're happy with that now, yeah? What we're going to do, no, do you know what, Davey? I'm not happy with that. I'm going to go back to white. White was probably closest. Are you after me, John? Oh. Right, so we've gone white, so we're a bit more happy with that, I think, yeah. Yeah, I'm better with that. Right, so we know it's coming into the room, we're good now. So what we need to do now is get the frame to go like that. So we're going to pop that on there now. Glue on that level. Right, so it's leaning that way. So what we want to do is pull it that way. So best way to do that now is, we know we're good coming in the room, so I'm going to put a screw in there. I'm going to pull it in with the screw. Again, we're going to go in the thermal brake. I'm just going to go there at the hinge, middle of the hinge. And what I want to do now is I'm just going to squeeze that in until I'm happy with that. You know what, that's bang on perfect there. And what I'll do now is I'll find a packer to go in this little gap. Can you see the gap there, Davey? You want to pop into this side. Yeah, fractionally loose on that white. What's bigger than the white, David?
A grey.
A grey. See if we can get a grey in there. No, again, it's like half a mil, so that isn't going in there. The white and the green isn't going in, so I'm going to pop that in like that now. Sat on top of that screw. I'm just going to give that a little squeeze. Because we're going to cover these screw heads. So you can see that there, David. Can you see it? Yeah, so I'm happy with that now. So, and also, it's aluminium, right? If you're fitting plastic, you may have a bow in your door. Now, aluminium, you can see there, look, it's dead straight. Yeah, because of the nature of the material, it's aluminium, isn't it? But plastic, you may have a bow. So, what I'm going to do is drop some packers down here now and see what I can squeeze in. So, I'm going to put another one on hinge. So, I've got 4 hinges, so that's where I'm going to fix it, yeah? So that's gone in there, lovely like that, look there. Can you hear it rubbing against it? Yeah, so it's gone in nice. So what we will do now is get another screw. Again, I'm not going to send it through the packer because it'll shatter the packer. Can you see there? Look, I've just compressed the thermal brake, but I haven't broke it. Again, let's have a look at the bottom now. That's a little bit loose. So is that one. That's too tight, so we're going to have to go with black. It's fractionally loose. There's a little bit of tolerance on these, but there isn't so much on the bifolds. What will happen now is I push that screw in, it'll push the frame out. So I'm just going to pop that in there and pull it back there now. You see it's got a grip of that, look. Yeah. We'll get one in the bottom. That looks quite wide, that gap. There, that's nice. You can hear it rubbing on it, can't you? So we're good on there. Right, so let's summarise what we've done. We've screwed everywhere where the hinges are. Right, what we've done, we've got it plumb going in and out of the room by putting a packer behind our block, which is stopping it falling out. So we've got that nice, we know that's right. And then we pulled it in with the screw to go that way. And when we've got it right, we've found a packer that was the right size, and then we've screwed it tight. And because it's aluminium, we've put us level on, it's nice and straight. So we've just found packers. And we've put a screw centre of each hinge line. So that's good. Right, in theory, these doors should be right that way now because it's a square frame, yeah? What it won't be right is in and out into the room like that, yeah? So we're going to put the laser on that now. We can also remove this block because it ain't going nowhere now. What we'll do, we'll set that laser up there and get a measure off that. So put my glasses on because I can't see out these days. A little bit easier to show you guys at home. I'm going to put that there. And that's my distance there from my frame to my laser. So what I'm trying to do now is get that the same. Look, you see there? Got about 5 mil to go. So what I'm going to do is just release this clamp on this side. Practically there. Look, you see that, look, David? Yeah, it's almost there. So see if we can turn that. That's probably too much. Yeah, it's too much. But what I can do is I can stick a packer on there now and get it to come back into the room. So same as that other side. There, we're good now, look, yeah. Yep, so that's, we know we're good there. So what we're going to do now is drive this screw in to hold it. And what we can't do, because it's aluminium, is actually modify it like that. So it is what it is because that head is fixed over there. So that leg can't go anywhere there. So we're just going to stick some packers in there, whatever suits that opening. Again, we're going to put the packers just floating above the screw. There, they've just squeezed in nice like that. So we can now nip that screw up. Yeah. And again, we're going to go down the leg and we're going to see where we can get packers in that are just not pushing the leg, but are just nice. Yeah, that's just nice now. And get our screw in, centre of hinge. Again, you see it there, I've not compressed it fully, it's just enough just to nip it. It's just got a bite of them. That's lovely there at 2. Again, let's put that on the rib side so you can hear it. You can hear it, can't you, just rubbing on there. So we know that's good. Get our final one in there. Yep, got a grip of it. Got a grip of them. We're good there. And get rid of that out of the way. Right, what should happen now is them doors should shut relatively nice. Maybe not perfect because the glass hasn't gone in and been torn healed, but they should shut relatively nice. So we'll have a look at that. Which they do. Right, the only thing we haven't fixed now is the head. Let's have a look at it, see if we can let move. See there, David? Yeah, you see me moving it. So what we need to do now is get that head right. And you see it moving now, look, yeah? Yeah. So what we'll do, we're going to take a measurement off that leg there. Because again, we know that the frame is square. We'll take a measurement off that leg. What are we looking at there, Dave? 1778, 9? 9, yeah. 1779. So what we want then is the centre of this frame. The same, and we've got there 1776, is it? Yeah. Yeah. 76. So we need to go up 3 mil, don't we? So we'll have a look, see what we can stick on there now. That's probably too big, isn't it? There. Right, what we're going to do is put that packer in there. I'm now going to send the screw up through the thermal break into the steel, and I'm going to use the screws that we screwed the steel to. Yeah, frame fix, a roof fixing screw. Right, so you're drilling into metal now. So metal is going to be falling down. It's going to be hot. And you want to put some glasses on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it ever so slightly back into the room. Do you see that? Yeah, because it'll be one to pull forward a little bit. And that's just up enough to compress that. So that should shut now, which it does. Right, so what'll happen now? Let's exaggerate this for you. Where's that whiteboard? There it is. Right, so your doors have gone in. So let's see if we can draw this. So let's say that's your frame and it's dead square, dead plumb, everything, yeah? But your doors are in, so what might be happening to your doors now? They might, I'm exaggerating it, they might be going like that. Or they might be going like that. So what we need to do is toe and heel the door, which basically is creating a brace in the door. So on a gate, if you've got a fence post and a fence post, and this is your hinge side, and that's your gate will want to hang down under the weight of the gate, and that's why you have a diagonal brace in it like that, which puts pressure on that hinge side there, which is fixed, and it keeps that side up, which prevents sag. So you need to do exactly the same with your doors. So that's one door, that's the other door. So this, let's say this is viewed from the outside, yeah? So the doors are opening out, yeah? This is hinge side here. Got our 4 hinges on there. 4 hinges on there. So what we need to do now is create that brace, because what we want is them doors to stay in that upright position and not going downwards, yeah? We don't want that, that's bad. So what we need to do now is create a brace, but it's glass. So we can't put a brace across the glass, obviously, for obvious reasons, but that's the way we want it to go. So what we will do, we will pack the glass there, we will pack the glass there, pack it there, and pack it there, and then that will create a diagonal brace. So again, pack there, it's putting pressure on that hinge side, which is fixed. It's keeping the frame pushed up because it's sat there, and there the glass will be floating. There the glass will be floating. It'll be only packed there on the hinge side, diagonally up like that, and it will keep the doors upright. Exactly the same for bifolds. If you watch this video that I'm going to show in a minute now, we'll put in toe and heel in bifolds. There is obviously you've got several doors running at all different angles, haven't you? But you need to be hinging off the hinge side. But I'll explain it in that video. So what I'm going to do now, what I've just noticed is I'm just going to clear this silicone off here. simply because it's starting to get a skin on it, and we want rid of that before it sets, especially the white bits. And John was a bit upset about that. Again, trade wipes, they're great for this, getting the silicone off. But that upstand now is sealed, so any water that does come in there is not going to travel back into the room. That's cleaned off nicely now. Get them wipes out of the way. Right, so we're going to put the glass in, we're going to toe and heel the glass, and hopefully these doors will shut and lock beautifully. Right, we're going to toe and heel these then. So obviously we're creating a diagonal brace like that, so we're going to put packers there, packers there, packers there, packers there. Right, so I'm going to take these travel foam blocks out. What should happen now is you put your hand on there like that, and that should just roll inwards like that, yeah, and pop out. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in the way they come out, simply because I know sometimes you might get a fraction difference in length, but you know they've been in once already, so that's where they want to go. So like that. This one here, keep hold of it because it might want to fall out on you. Put that one there and that one there, so I'm going to put that one out of the way. That one there's my first one in, it's my bottom one. Right, so this is where we're going to put our glass. Right, glass now. Right, you need to be careful with the glass. Get rid of these travel packers off them, these little sponges. Now, if you put the corner, if you catch the corner of the glass on the floor, it's going to shatter on you. And if you've paid for the integrated blinds, you're going to start beefing. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to get this glass away from that one. I'm going to put it gently on the floor. Yeah, flat down rather than hitting the corner. Right, we're going to have a look at this now. Look, you can see there, look. That says, David?
Glaze to the outside.
It's only can't got my glasses on, mate. So that says glaze to the outside, and it's also got this sticker on here, which, oh, you're going to go around, which says interior. So I know now I've now got that glass the wrong way around, so that's what we want. And there's a reason behind that. It's something to do with the thermal types of glass they've put in and stuff like that. I don't know the full explanation, I'm sure somebody will say, but they need to be the right way around. So again, I'm going to get all them little travel foams off there. They're just to stop the glass scratching on each other when it's being transported. Make sure they're all off, because you don't want them to go on your seals and you forget about one of the bugger to get out. Right, we'll get rid of them. That sticker there, just going to pull that to the side. I'm going to leave it on just in case for whatever reason we've mixed them up again. And now I'm going to lift it up. Yep. Use my knee to push it in. Yeah, and I'm in, and I'm all the way in. I push my glass like that. Yeah, I'm going to look down, something I haven't done, I'll show you on the next one, and just make sure that that outside seal is correct. All it is sometimes, it's just being compressed by them travel sponges, and it just might have been distorted a little bit, but it might have come out of the track. So what you need to do is make sure that it's in the track. Right, that's pushed in, it's good. Right, what we want to do now is, we want to pack this up. Where's my packers there? Can I have a full bag, mate? We want to pack this up and centralise it at the same time. So this is a plastic glazing shovel, yeah? That there, you can move your glass around without fear of breaking it. Yeah, you can. I'll tell you what, I haven't done what I used to do before. That's. Should we start that one again? No, it's right. Right, so you can see there, look, I can move that glass left and right, no problem, give it a good old shove with that, it's not going to break it. But what I haven't done, I haven't preempted this because it's been a while, what I normally do is stick a packer under there before I put it in. So I'm just going to whip that out quickly because I can't get my wedge under. Put that back down on the floor gently. And then pop that in there like that. It's simply so I can get my plastic wedge under. And then I'm going to redo what I did again. There we go. That's in. Right, let's get it central then. Right, so you can see the black bar. Can you see the black bar? Maybe it's better on that one, Dave, is it? The black bar, yeah, that goes around the glass. What we're going to try and do is get that centralised between the seals, which it is now. So what I'm going to do is pop a little packer in there, yeah? We're centralised still. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift it up. See now, I'm lifting it up. You see that? Yeah? I'm going to pick a packer. We're going to go for blue. I'm going to put my head against the glass so it don't fall back into the room. I'm going to lift that up and I'm going to slide that packer. Now watch how I put that packer, look. You see that? It's at a slight angle, yeah? The reason why I haven't put it in straight is some packers are wide enough, others aren't. If it's just as wide as the glass, what can happen sometimes, the heat can get on the glass in the summertime. And if that packer's sat forward, this sheet of glass will drop slowly and it can break the seal. So I've got both bits of glass sat on that packer. So that can come out now. And make myself a few packers because we're going to go up at the top now. Right. What's happening now is it's in that corner and the glass is tilting that way. Can you see, look, I can see all that rubber seal there. It's probably a bit hard to see, is it? See all the rubber seal and next to no seal on there. So what we're going to do again now is slide it across and get it halfway. Now I believe we had a grey in there. I didn't know it was a white. But I'm going to pop a grey in there. Just have a look at that. I'll pop it in sideways like that and have a look. Yeah, still wants a little bit more. So what's bigger than the grey is a blue. Yeah. So I'm going to whip that one out. I'm going to pop that one in there. I think there, look now, I've got half a seal. So I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is just pop that in like that. Yeah, that'll trap that there. And now I'm going to look at the top now. Now I can't get that in. That grey one. I'll look at the white one. The white one's too loose, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the grey one in and just ever so slightly going to lift it. You might not see this now. You see the frame there and the door. Can you see it lifting? Yeah, you can. Lovely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop that in there, and I'm also going to put a black in as well, just to lift it a little bit. So what's happened now is I've lifted the door a little bit, yeah? So I've got my diagonal brace in there now because I've got my packer, same on the top, packer. So you can see that there, look now. That piece of glass now is now floating, which means there is no weight on the bottom of this door. It's pushed up because the weight is transferred diagonally through into that bottom, which is fixed on the hinge. Yeah, so that is how you tote and heel your glass. Right, I know that this one is the bottom one. Yeah, I've took them out the way they went in. Yeah, so that flat bit of metal there is going to sit under that bit there. See how that went under there? Yeah, so that's going to sit under there. So I'm going to roll it in like that. Now, it doesn't want to go, which is good. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is just give it a little tap. There. And that's gone. Now, you can see how loose that is. That's because the gasket isn't in yet. So again, top one. Exactly how it came out. Roll it. Might be able to get it in, might not. Right, this is a glazing hammer. It's a nylon glazing hammer. It doesn't damage the aluminium. It won't break the glass either. Yeah, nylon glazing hammer. So they're in. Look, it's not going to go anywhere because them beads aren't going to come out. I'm going to pop this side one in now. Again, that one doesn't want to go in so much. Yeah, we're in. Like I said, these doors are from Express Bifolds, right? They are the leading manufacturer in the country, and that's why we've always used them, because they're good quality doors. Now, your doors, I'm not saying they're not good quality, but they might have a different bead system, they might have a different gasket system, and if they're plastic, UPVC, what you'll have to do is bend them, get the corners in, and then braid them in. But obviously, I can't show you that because I haven't got one. So that's going to go in there. So what I'm going to do now is, I know the glass won't fall out from experience, yeah? But what you can do is, because you haven't got your gaskets in yet, just sticking that wedge in there, creating that opening, look, pushing the glass back, and I'm just going to pop that in there, and that's solid now, that can be left, but obviously it needs the gasket in to seal it. But I know that's good, that's working. What we can do now is tote and heel this door. And you can see there, look, yeah? It's not catching the frame, which is exactly what we want, and it's locking beautifully. Right, so we'll do exactly the same with this one now. Shut the door. Right, I'll just slow this one down, just show you this. That handle's obviously in the way. Take the handle off if you want, but what you need to do is just manoeuvre it round the handle, like that. Send it in with your knee again, and off you go again. So there's no gaskets in them, but they should now open and lock beautifully because they've now been tone healed, which they do. Yeah, so all that remains now is to stick the gaskets in. I'm going to show you them because they can be a nightmare to do. Right, so it's time to put the gasket in now. So this particular gasket, look, it's got a serrated side there. Yeah, so that side's going to go up into the gap, and that side there is going to stick out. But what I'm going to do, look, I've just noticed that there. See that? Is it just where that plastic foam's been? It's distorted it. Yeah, it is, because it's actually in. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut it like that. Make sure we've cut it slightly too long for ourselves. It might go in, it might not. Depends. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just try and keep that off the floor. Give it a little bit of window cleaner. It has gone in, yeah. So what I'm going to do, look, I'm going to push it tight into that corner. And then I'm going to push it along like that. Move my packet. Did you see the window push across then, David? Could you see that? Have a look.
Yeah,
possibly, yeah. So that's creating that gap for you there. Get that like that. Put that in there, and what I'm going to do now is just mark that for length. And I'm going to cut it off just with some snips. Use scissors, whatever you got. Get that corner in first. Like that. There, so that's your top one in. Do the same with the bottom now. Sometimes they're a bugger to get in, and what's really difficult is when you're doing it and the sun's blazing through the window. Again, bit of window cleaner. Make sure I've got the right side going down, which is that serrated side. Push it in, push it over. See, I pushed it through into the corner there, look, gone through. Yeah. And I'm going to use my fingertips rather than my fingernails because you get all marks in it then. Was that better then? Could you see that sliding across then, Davey?
You could.
You should see the window push that way now when I push this.
Yeah.
See, it's separating, like pushing the bead away from the window. Help you get that in there. Put that down, send that down to there. Cut it off to them. Again, made it a little bit too long, just so I can push it in. Right, sides. What I'm going to do now is, you need to leave a bit of shrink back on this, because what will happen sometimes in summertime, it expands and it shrinks, and then it gets a little bit shorter and you're left with gaps. So what I'm going to do is cut that one way too long, which is like that. Window clean it. Get that bead up there. It's about 200mm away from the top there. I'm going to push that tight up to meet that one. Right, what I'm going to do now, look, is leave a loop like that. Now you can use your finger or you can use the back of that sometimes. Look, see that? It's gone straight in on it. Yeah, lovely. Leave a loop. Right, so what's happened there now? I've made it too long, haven't I? So when I take that out now, I've got an excess bit, but I'm going to just force that in, and that'll lose itself in there. And then hopefully when it does shrink and pull back and that, you'll have that little bit extra, and it'll make up the slack. Right, last one. Again, get that one top right there. Push it tight up into that corner, leaving myself my extra there, look, yeah. Now some of you will watch this and think, Jesus, them beads have gone in really easy, and other times they just don't, because I've really struggled with them before. Again, left too much there, look. Pull it out. extra. Pull that one out. Get rid of the extra. Like that. Are we getting any more kitchen roll left? No. Only right a little bit in there. And then just give it a little wipe down. So that there is your French doors fit. Now I'm going to show you how to fit bifold doors. And then we'll hopefully drop this window in. But what might happen is, because I think the sound might have messed up, if not I'll have to drop an old video of a window going in. But it's the same thing. So that's it. That's in. All it needs now is some expanding foam from the outside like we have done on this one. Yeah, expanding foam. When it's gone off, we'll just pick it off then, get it flat, and we're going to put the reveals on there then. Right, so I'm going to fit these bifold doors. They're 2.1 high and they're 3 metres wide. They're all going to glide this way. They've just arrived. There's the glass for them. There's the sill. There's the doors. We're going to fit them here. So the first thing you need to do, I'm going to try and give you a detailed, as detailed as much demonstration of how we fit them, just so that you can probably use it as reference to do it yourself. So we're going to put the sill down. We need to silicone the sill down as well as fix it down. Obviously it's rained quite a lot, so I'm going to use this heat gun to dry off the sill. It's a £30 heat gun from Toolstation, Silverline. It's a piece of crap really, but for 30 quid it does the job. A £30 heat gun from Toolstation. What I'm going to do is just probably get a bit of blue kitchen roll just to take up most of the water first, and then we'll get this dried off and get the sill in. Right, so that there now, what I've done basically is just dried that Aga Protect there, because obviously it was wet, but it's got protective coat on, so it's not wet underneath, it was just wet on the surface. So I've dried it with that heat gun, so now when I put my sill on there, I can bed it on some silicone, and it'll adhere to that because it's nice and dry now. Right, so the sill's arrived. They make the sill bigger so that you can create lugs, but the best way to do when we're doing our cedar finish is to have the sill exactly the same width as the door frame. So I'm going to cut it to 3 metres. I'm going to use the old miter saw there. The blade's knackered on it anyway, but it's got tungsten tips on, so it'll cut through the aluminium. And I've got another blade there which we're going to change over when we do the cedar. So what we'll do now, obviously there's going to be some sparks coming off this, so Adam will hold one end for me while I cut it. Right, Adam? So we want to keep it nice and square. He's going to keep it flat to bed for me. I've already pre-marked it. I'm just going to give it a little test cut, just make sure we're all right. There we go. And we are. So that's fine. So what I'm going to do now is whip that through at 3 metres. So there you go, that's cut through that. I'll just explain the sill to you. So we've got a 190 sill. The reason why we've got a 190 sill is we've got double battens on the front. We want it to sit, we want it to hang over our cedar, and we still want to be able to get a fixing on our frame. So there's the sill. It's a 190 sill. It's got a thermal brake in it. That's the thermal brake there. You can see that it's absolutely solid. So we're going to use that thermal brake to fix through to the floor. The thermal brake is designed to stop the cold transfer coming from the outside to the inside. So there you go, that's the thermal brake. Can you see that there? Right, I'll just explain the sill to you. There's a hole drilled in the sill there. There's also holes drilled in the sill there. The purpose of that is when your door is fit, rain coming that way, any water that gets in there will go into that well there, go through that hole and come out of that hole there. But this hole of the end obviously needs to be sealed up. So by means of that, we've got these plastic end caps. Now they sit over there. There's a little lip on them, so they sit over lovely. So where I've cut it, I don't know how well Adam can zoom in there. You can just see I've just scored it down with a Stanley knife just to get the burrs off. But that little ridge there, they're decent quality, so you know you're not going to go around with express bifolds in Leeds.com. So that there will pop on there. But what you need to do now, because obviously any rainwater that fills that sill will then fill there and seep out of here, which is dangerous then filling in your room. So what you need to do then is dam the sill. So you need to literally fill that end of the sill completely with silicone. like that. So that's completely full with silicone. What I'll do now is put this end cap on, push that in. There we go, so that's on now. So what I'll do now is I'll get one of these trade wipes, Wonder Wipes, whatever brand you use. Just clean off any silicone. You want to sort of clean as you go, really, because you don't be getting silicone all over your frame. So that basically now has dammed the inside of that sill with silicone, so no water will run out of there. The water that goes in it will run through that entry hole there and out the weep hole at the bottom. So what I'll do the same on the other end as well, dam the other end, and then the sill then we're starting to get ready to level it and fit it. So we've got this offcut sill section. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to offer my sill section up there. The door frame is 70mm wide. I've marked the door frame there. So what I've done, I've offered it up because I know that obviously I need my overhang to pass my cedar. That's definitely happening. I also need around 80mm on my reveal. So by the time there's a piece of cedar on there, I'll be able to rip down an 83mm piece of cedar to butt up to the door frame. So I know that's the right position I want to fix. Also gives me something to fix to there, so I know I'm good there. That's where I'm going to fit it. So what I've done, I've marked a line there and I've marked a line there. That's how far back the frame will sit in. What we're going to do now, if you'll have seen me use my base system before, you'll know that it's mill perfect. Now, it is mill perfect, but of course you've got your shoes that are bent over, you've got your nails and that, so there may be some undulations in this floor. So the most important thing about fitting bifold doors or French doors, get your sill right, and from there on then it should all fall easy. So what I'm going to do, we're going to use a laser on this occasion. You can use a spirit level, it works just as well, it's just this is a little bit more accurate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work my way along. Adam, you got to jump in there so you can see the laser outline there. I'm going to work my way along and I can see that's on 54mm. So that's 54mm there. I'm going to fix this about every 400mm. So I'll just get my marker there and I'll know where my fixing point is. So I'm going to fix there. I'm going to check there now. That's good. That's on 54mm as well. That's on 54mm too. So I know I don't have to pack any of these up. That's on 54mm there as well. That's 53. Adam passed me a green packer there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a packer. I'm going to sit that there. Put my tape measure back on there. No, I'm going wrong bloody way. Right. So it's less there, it's high. So what I'm going to do now, I know it was a mill out, so I'm going to put a green packer on each of them. Have another look at this now. So I've got 53mm, I've got 53mm, I've got 53mm, I've got 53mm, and I've got 53mm. So I know they're all good. So unless I have to pack these other ones up, then we'll have a look. We'll have a look over here, see what's happening. So we know that one there is 53, so there's no packer on that one. That one there's 53 too. Now, that one's 52, and that one's 52. So they're my highest points. So what I'm going to have to do now is, I know that that one there's no packer, that one there's no packer. I'm going to put two on, they're just bent. What you're going to have to do is just get them flat like that. So what I'll do, I'll just set these now. So I've got 52mm, 52mm, 50mm, take one of them off, 52mm, so that one's good, 52, 52, and we know that they were 52 anyway. So there's all my screw points, there's where I'm going to screw, there's where I'm going to pack as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a solid line of silicone all the way down. Just look over here, Adam. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a big bed of it there. We know that that's the back of my sill there. So I'm going to put a solid line all the way down. What I'm going to do with that now is just put a bit of silicone like that. Pop that into the silicone. Then glide over the top with the silicone again. Like I said, you get your sill right, you won't go wrong. Pop that in there like that. Bit of silicone over there. been watching some of my videos back and I noticed I'm panting a lot. Like a heavy breather. Right, pop that there like that. So just run out of silicone, so I'll just get myself another tube. What you want to do is get yourself a pack of these Wonder Wipes as well when you're doing these, because they're a godsend. Right, so I've siliconed the full bit, I'll put my packers down. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to offer the sill into place. Being careful not to scratch it or damage it. So I know that's my good line over there. That's my line over there. So I've sat it on silicone, I'll give it a little squeeze down. Adam, just put your hand on it, just stop it rocking forward. So I'm going to use these 4-inch screws. I'm going to screw through the thermal brake on top of the packer. Well, if Adam just pops down there, you can just see that silicone. Can you see that silicone there, look? See how it's compressing down? And pushed it out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to make sure that I'm right over there where I am, and I'm good. And I'm going to work my way along. Screwing down through the thermal brake. And I can just see the silicone's just compressing out, which is what we want. We know it's pushed tight to the floor. It's sat on the packer. There. Did you see that? Did you see that come out then? Not going to over compress it because you've got a possibility then of breaking the thermal brake, which obviously isn't what you want. Right, so that's the sill down. Right, I know that's level now, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get a bit of roll and I'm just going to clean it off, and then if Adam comes over here, I'll show you what we're going to do. So, right, so obviously, you know, you've got your water holes for the water, any rainwater to go in there, but you don't want the water to seep down through these. So what I'm going to do, just going to put a bit of silicone, wet my finger over the top of each screw, and then we know that no water is going to get down that screw hole and get into your building. Like I say, I'm going to give it a clean, work its way along. We know now, when I put the level on this, it should be 100% level, and that's the key then to getting your doors working lovely and smooth, is to have a nice level sill to go off. I'm going to try and video all of this for you, and you can have like a real-time sort of how long it takes to fit them and every little step of the procedure, I suppose. So,
telling me a trick for not sticking it to your fingers.
With wet?
Yeah.
I did, I just said it.
What, wet your fingers?
Yeah. So, in case you didn't hear me first time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to blob me blob of silicone, lick my finger, and then silicone won't stick to your finger then. And just smooth it down over that. And there we go. So we know all them now are protected from any water. Any water that does come in will drop down through them holes and go out the weep holes at the bottom, and of course won't come out the side of the sill into the room, which is obviously not what we want. We've unwrapped the door, we've had a look at it, it's good, it's going the right way, it's the right height. So what I'm going to do, me and Adam are going to offer it up. What I'm going to do first, the guy who normally, I'll just a little point, I've got a guy who fits the windows for me, he's absolutely fantastic at fitting them, does a brilliant job. The only reason why he's not fitting these is because obviously want to see a video, and he comes and does them on night time for me, so I'm going to fit these myself, but he always fits them. And one of the best things I've seen, because we lift them up and we're always worried about scratching the sill with the door, and what he does, he just puts a series of 1mm packers on like that, and then when you offer the door up, you sit the door onto the packers, and then it won't scratch it, and then the packers can be just slid straight out then, and the door drops down onto the sill, and it's there. Perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull them forward, just because I've just forgotten to do something, and I've just remembered. So what we need to do is that frame's going to go on there. You see that little upstand, Adam? So the frame's going to sit on that upstand, so we need a bead of silicone on that upstand, again, to prevent any ingress coming into the room. What I'm also going to do is fill the sides there. Can you pop them back?
Don't want them touching it.
Just 1 minute, let me just, there we go, yeah, pop it in now.
There?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if Adam's still filming that, just going to put a line of silicone along there. Again, continuous bead. Make sure there's no water coming into the room. There's a host of different suppliers doing doors and windows. We originally used a different company and their customer service was abysmal, but their product was good. But I couldn't cope with customer service. So then we moved back to Express Bifold in Leeds, which customer service is fantastic and doors are superior, and they are the biggest manufacturer in the company. So obviously we want to be tied in with them. What?
In the country, not company.
That's what I said, country?
You didn't. They're the biggest suppliers in the company, you said.
Express Bifolds are the biggest suppliers in the country. Are we good? Could be some shouting now, boy. Right, so we've got the door in. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to just go along and slide the packers out and make sure that my door isn't sticking past the lip, because that's not what we want.
It's not me.
Well, I ain't touching it.
Bloody door.
I'm not touching it.
Oh, you're pulling things out, so it's going to move, isn't it?
So if anybody wants a job, give us a buzz, because Adam's don't want his job. Right, you ready? Now it'll drop, right? You ready?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yes.
You sure? Right, so what I'm going to do now is just make sure it's just pushed back. Adam, I've got the door. Lean over and just make sure it's pushed back to that. Let go of the door. Lean over and make sure it's pushed back to that ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, now come here. Right. Hold it there. Balance it. Got it?
Yeah.
Right. Why would you look for the viewfinder? Right, I'm going to use these wind bags. It's a little inflatable bag, basically, and it's going to trap the door into position then, so that Adam can let go of it because he's popping himself.
Just make sure, I mean, it's in the middle bit here.
Don't let go of it.
It's in the middle bit.
Don't let go of it. So we've secured the doors in place with these wind bags there. I think they were £27 for two from Tool Station, or as John likes to call it, Tool Fix and Screw Station. They're like when you have your blood pressure taken, basically. You just pump up the bag, it fills the space, it locks it into place, and then you press the little button to release the air as well. So there, handy little bit of kit. Again, seeing the lad who fits the windows used them, so I thought that's the way forward. What we did the last one, we put blocks of wood each side, just stop the doors falling out. Worked as well. Obviously didn't cost 30 quid either, but I mean, going forward, these are the way forward. Right, what I'm going to do now, the door's in place, it's back, it's pushed back to the lip on that sill that I was talking about. I'm happy with the location of the bottom of the door. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open the door, the first door. Because it's the first time I've used them wind bags, my faith in them isn't actually that great. Adam tells me they're a multi-million-pound company, but they're still not going to pay for the doors when they're broken. Right, so, once again, thermal seal inside. Can you see the thermal seal? There's the thermal seal. It's plastic. That's aluminium. That's aluminium. That's plastic. It's to prevent the coals from transferring through into the room, or that's the theory. You can also see the hole there. That hole then drops through into the thermal seal under below, so any water that gets in there, in theory, will drop through there and run out through the bottom of the sill. And you can see the same scenario once again. I don't know if you can see that hole there. Them holes are drilled in the bottom of the frame. There you go, look, all the way through. Any water that does manage to get in there will drop through there, into there, into there, and into there. So it's well designed, it's well thought out. They're a great company and obviously supplying a great kit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go along and I'm going to fix these doors down to the frame. Make sure it's pulled back. So what I've opted for now is these smaller torque screws. So I'm going to fix the frame down with these 4-inch torque screws. They're a good quality screw. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill through the thermal seal, through the other thermal seal and into the floor. What I'm going to do is not overly compress that. Now, we don't have to silicone them because we've always got those weep holes there anyway. So any water that goes through will go through them weep holes. So that will be fine. What I'm doing, if Adam can just come forward with the camera, you can see where I put my original fixings. Now, you don't want to go through and hit your fixing because that's going to cause you no end of problems. So if you just step to the side. And there we go. So what I'll do now, just to save boring you, I'm going to open the door and I'm going to fix the frame all the way along to exactly, just slightly to the left of the position where I first fixed the sill. If Adam steps back a little bit, I've opened the doors. They're not fully open, it's just to allow me to get into the sill. This then prevents any weight cantilevering the doors out, because obviously we're just holding on them windbags, but we have just given them a little push test now and they're absolutely solid. So I think my original lack of faith in the windbags was ill-founded, so quality bit of kit. So what we're using the crossline laser. So if you can see that there, that's honest timber there, honest timber stud. So if you follow that line up there, that timber stud is dead plumb. Testament to the quality of our builds, I'd say. So what I'm going to do, just for ease, I'm going to get my pencil. I'm going to drop that packer on there like that, and I'm going to mark that there. That distance there then, I know, needs to be that distance. So obviously that door needs to go out considerably. But because I've got my windbags in, what I'm going to do is just release that one a bit. I'll tell you what I might do actually. I'm just panicking a little bit about these windbags. Obviously doors cost a lot of money. Watch your fingers, Adam. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to shut these double doors and leave the leading door open, just because I'm conscious about the full weight of the doors hanging out like that. Right, so obviously we need to go in considerably there, so I'll just release the pressure on this. Which I have done. Send that out like that. Obviously that windbag over there is pushing the frame this way, which is good. Adam, you're just in front of the laser, mate. No, it's me, isn't it? Sorry, mate, fuck you. Right, so there we go, look. You see we're on that line now? Can you see that, Adam? Yeah, so we know that's dead right. So what I'll do now, I'm going to get a screw, I'm going to put it through thermal brake. Oh my God, I sound the auction end, didn't I? Put it through thermal brake into timber. The nose. Right, but I'm not going to sink it all the way in. So I know that frame now is trapped that way, so it's good that way. So what I can actually do now is release that windbag. That one's done with for now. And I'm just going to go over here, do exactly the same thing on this one. So you can see that one there now. Again, if you see that laser on that timber there, now, this is what I keep saying, right? You get your base right, everything else will fall into place. So that timber there is dead plumb. So I'm just going to put that packer on there, mark up that line there, I'm going to offer that up, and I can see again, I'm like 15 mil out. So what I'll do now, just release this windbag ever so slowly. Right, so what's happening now, I've released it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put that windbag in now. I'm blocking laser every time, aren't I? Right, can you see now? Yeah? So I've put windbag in, I'm just going to push it over like that. And that will then lock that frame into place, which it has done. So what I'll do now, I've got my windbag tight, I'm just going to pop that in there like that. And we know that now, that them doors are plumb that way. Now what we need to do now is rack them this way, left and right as well. So, right, so I put my laser on that right on corner of that frame there. So I'm going to have a look up there now. It just wants to nip in a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a series of packers. These are literally plastic window packers. Obviously they go up in mills, so that's what you want. So what I'm going to look for is I want that to squeeze in a touch. What you want is the minimum amount of packers. So obviously, like 10 1 mils is not as good as 2 5 mils. You know what I mean? Because the less packers you want, the better. So, but you still need to actually reach the amount you want. Right. So that there is too tight. So I'm going to offer that green one up because I know I want to pull the frame across the touch as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm not far off with that one, so I'll put them in, we'll give it a nip and see how it looks. What I'm going to do, I'm going to span the frame so the packer's actually sticking out the back and the front of the frame. So you can just see now that laser is right on that line there. Can you see it, Adam, at all? Well, I'll put my finger there. There, that's better, isn't it? So you can see now the bottom's on the laser, the top's on the laser, so I know that there is completely solid. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to check this on this side again and just make sure that I've not squeezed it over. So I'm 64 mil there and I'm 64 mil there. So I know that there is absolutely 100% perfect. So what I want to do, I want to get 5 screws in it. Obviously, when that door's open, there's a lot of weight on it. So I'm going to just get my screws started first. They haven't gone through, you can just see it peeping through there a little bit. And then what I'll do then, I'll work my way up the frame, fit in my packers, make sure I've got the right amount in, without actually compressing it back to the wood. So I'll start at the bottom. Like I said, I don't know if I explained that really well. So what you want is, you want the minimum amount of packers for the size required. So the bigger the packer, basically, the better, because like they're more solid than 10 of them together. That's too tight. So like I say, they go up in mil. That might be just a fraction too tight. It's a bit of a thing where you have to play around with it till you find that. That one's too loose, but my eyesight's crap. Is that 2 mil, Adam? 3. Well, there you go. Black's 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That there now is a lovely fit. So what I'm going to do is just slide it in. Make sure that it's near the screw, obviously, because if it's not near the screw, it'll compress the frame. And just squeeze it. I'm just squeezing it onto that thermal brake rather, but not over tightening it because you don't want it to break. So once again, put the right amount of packers in. And just nip it up there. So can you see that line well, Adam, or not? Or a bit hard to see.
It's a bit hard to see. You can see it, yeah.
Right. So anyway, the laser's running true up there. Just a bit too tight. It's worth getting this right because your doors then will work perfectly well. If they've been manufactured well. I suppose that's the key thing there, because I know as well as there's been a lot of good ones on the market. There's a lot of crap on the market as well. We only use aluminium. It's far better quality. Obviously the plastic come summertime, when you've got all them 3-5 doors hanging out with all that weight of glass in, it'll be hanging in your garden and the sun will be on plastic and it'll be stretching, and next thing you know, game over. That's what I'm just saying. Right, so what we're going to do now, we know now, there we go. So as lines running all the way up there, we can take that windbag out now. So they've come good. I didn't think they would be as good as what they are, but they are. That's solid now, absolutely solid. What we're going to do now is drop back onto this other side of the frame as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check it again. Put my little packer there. Mark it up. Have a look at the top. There, we're bang on there, so that's good. So what I'll do now is screw this side of frame up as well. Give Adam his pencil back. Adam might want to show you his new pencil that he's boasting about. Apparently it's the latest thing. Right, so I'm going to pack this as well. Again, I don't want to push this frame out and don't want to push this frame in. So we know it's right that way. What we're going to do now is just get the laser on that profile there. I'm just looking to somewhere to put it on, really, basically. I've found the profile on the door on the corner there. So I've just got it sat there. I'll put a white packer there. You can see it better, can't you? You see that? Yeah. It's right on the edge of the profile there. Have a look at that. It's right on the edge of the profile there as well. So what I'll do now, we know we're good there. Obviously, this is the locking side. So we want this to be as perfect as the other side. Just see if, what were they? 3, the white?
Yes.
It's a bit loose, is that? But it's not quite 3, so it's about 2.5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can force a 3 in, and we'll just have to have a look. There we go, that's got it. I have to have a look at it when it's fixed. Right, so I'm in the thermal brake again. I'm going to nip that up. Can you see it, Adam? I don't know if you can see it now. I've just compressed it. You can just see the thermal brake. Just compressed a right little bit. Don't want to actually break it though. So what I'm going to look for now is fixing points. So I'm going to fix through that part of the locking mechanism. I'm going to fix through that part of the locking mechanism. Through that part, and then one down there as well, and that will be sufficient. Right, so that one's gone in nice there as well. Once again, just in the middle, it's about 2.5 mil. That's probably too tight, so we'll go on 2 mil on that. We know that what's happening here, we obviously haven't got 0.5 mil packer, so what it might come to, might just want adjusting that a little bit, might have to take it out, put it in, depending on how it locks. Now, what I've done here now, I haven't got a long bit, I've just got this stupid bit, so I might have to finish that off with a hand driver because we've either got that stupid bit or that ridiculous long bit. So, what I'll have to do now, just find an hand driver and hand drive it in. I've opted for the thinner bit there, which will allow me to get into the locking mechanism cavity. Again, just squeeze that up. I can just see that that's compressed just a little bit, but you don't want to break it if you can get away with it. So, I mean, like I said before, the timbers were plumb that way and they're plumb this way because, I know they're plumb because it's a 2 mil packer all the way down. So whoever's built this one has done a good job. So Adam's built this one, apparently. Oh, it's got the 4 mil at bottom. Warping timber, Adam?
Yep.
Well, no, I'm lying. It's gone to 3 mil. So we've gone from 2 to 3. So we're a mil out on that timber on that wall. So
£10 off my wages for that.
I have to deduct his wages for that. I don't know if any of you watched me green roof yesterday. Seems to have gone down the storm. Nobody slagged me off for it yet anyway. Right, and my final one then, I'm just going to put it in bottom down here. Have a look. There's obviously a little warp in that timber at the bottom, Adam. I'll let you off with that. It was good all the way down on it till one end. So we're good there. So what I'm going to do now is put my final screw in there. And just compressed it. Not broke it, just compressed it. Right, so what we've done now, we've fixed the sill down, we've siliconed it, we've created our water dam to stop any water. We've offered the frame up, we sat the frame on the 1mm packers, we put on 2mm packers. Me and Adam had a little argument about it. We've made up now though, haven't we, Adam? And then what we've done then, we've offered the frame up, we've silicone behind the frame, we've screwed the frame down to the sill through the thermal brake. We used our windbags to pack it, we've plumbed it, we've wrapped it, we've braced it, we've used packers, it's solid, we're good to go. The only thing we haven't done yet is fix the top. Now I'll just shut them like that. I don't know if Adam can see. Can you see that movement? You might have to stand back there. Hold the camera there. Can you? Can you see it now? Yeah? So you can see the movement on the frame. So obviously what we need to do now is get the head of the door right as well. So how are we going to do that? Right, above here we've got a steel beam. Now whether you've used a timber beam or a steel beam or whatever, it still needs fixing one way or another. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut the door, just lock it into place, and I'm just going to mark on wall where the hinge position is, because that's where I'm going to put two fixings, one above that one above that one, and that will be solid. So what am I going to do? I've got steel up there. So with that in mind, we're going to fix it with two tech screws. We did bring them in. So what I'm going to do for clarity, I put the laser up there. You can't see with the tape measure, so I'm going to offer this white packer up. I'm going to mark it along, just so you can see how I'm doing it on video. What we want is from that distance there to that distance there. We want that there and there. So what I'll do now, I'll mark that like so. What I'll do, I'll go to this point there, move that across that way, and there. So I can see it wants to go up just a couple of mil. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get myself a couple of packers. I'm going to put in enough packers that'll allow it to go up a couple of mil. I'll just put them there like that. So they're sat on steel. Get me a little packer, make sure I've got it right way around, which I have. And then I'm going to offer that up. You need to come this side, where laser is. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just push that up there. It's just a bit too tight. So what I'm going to do is take one of them white ones out and replace it with a black one. Right, put them in there like that. And I'm going to then get me a little packer with my mark on it, wherever that is. And there, and just offer it up. So that's still not enough. There we go, that's perfect. So, what we're going to use these roofing tech screws. I don't know if you can see them, Adam, can you? They're 110mm, they're self-drilling, they'll go straight into steel, and obviously through thermal brake as well. So, with that in mind, we're drilling through steel. I'm going to put on our safety glasses. Right. There we go, that's solid. What I'll do now is, I'm just going to check that now and just make sure it's right. Just going to put my packer back over here and mark it. There, that's bang on. So what we need to do now is do this one over here as well. It's fractionally low there. We'll push them doors over there, just take any weight off that. You see there, it just goes up a touch. So again, we'll look for the right amount of packers. Like I say, you could use your tape measure, but it's just for clarity so you can see it on video. But there you go. When I push that up now, it's absolutely perfect on that line. So I'll get another roofing tech screw. Again, you're drilling up above your head, above your eyesight, so you're going to watch for little bits of metal coming down in your face. So I've just squeezed that up, nice and solid. It's on them packers. Just give packers a little pull. They don't want to come out. Right, so we know it's plumb, it's square, and it's right. So, with a bit of luck and without any cutting, I'm just going to see if these doors will shut the way they should. Which they do, and they lock as well. Right, so all that remains to do now is to fit the glass, which I'm going to show you as well in a minute. Put the magnets on the outside, and of course we're going to foam up the frame as well. But what we'll do, we'll fit the glass first. I'll show you how to tone heal the glass, which is as important as getting your sill right the first time. So basically, toning and healing. Let me just open them again and make it more explainable to you. Right, toning and healing doors is as important as getting your sill right. So basically, if you think of a gate, a brace on the gate will be pointing diagonally like that. That's the hinge side. So when we put the glass in, we want packers there and packers there, which will then create a diagonal brace, bracing against the hinge side, which will keep that door frame upright. So when that door opens, there's no downward pressure because it's braced off the frame. Again, this door then, that's, if you class that as the frame there, because it's on the hinge, it's on the runners, so this one needs bracing that way, and the leading door, again, because it's on the runners, that's the frame side, so we're going to brace it, toe and heel it that way. So, just to recap, toe and heel, toe and heel, toe and heel, and then that will stop them doors sagging. Adam's doing a little line dance out there. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to lock the doors, shut them, and then we're going to then take these beads out. I'm going to show you how to tone heal the glass, and then we're going to get it all glazed up. I'll show you putting the beads in, we'll get it formed, and then that'll be us done. Right, Adam, I'm going to glaze this one, so I'm going to take the beads out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the beads where they've come out from, because when they've been manufactured, if there's a slight discrepancy in it, it's a pain in the ass to get them back in. So that one's right, that one's left, that one's top. What I'll do, I'll put top there, and then bottom there. Right, we're toeing and heeling it from that corner. So what I'm going to do, because out of experience, I know that I'm going to sit that on a packer like that. So I'll get my glass. Right, so I've got my glass. Depending on where you get it from, this one's been taped around the edges. Sometimes it's polished, so it's not sharp. But like I said, this has got some kind of like black gaffer tape around it. So I'm going to take these little red travel block packers off, which stop the glass from scratching each other when they're obviously in transit. I'm going to look at the sticker here. The sticker says, because it's argon filled, label to inside, so I've got that wrong way around. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swim that one round. It'll normally tell you which side it should go to. I don't know if you can see that there, look. Just put my hand behind it, isn't it good? So it's there, look. Label to inside because it's argon filled and it's got a special coating on one side of the glass. So I'm going to take them stickers off now because it's ready to go in. A little tip for you, if you leave your stickers on and sun gets on them, it's a right pain to get all the sticky stuff off. So just a little bit of mark on glass there, I'll just check that, get that cleared off. So we know that. So I'm going to offer that one in. The toughened safety glass. So what you want to do is watch them. If you catch the corner on floor, it'll ping just like that. You can throw an hammer at it, it won't break. But if you catch the corner on it, it'll ping. Right, so what I've done, I've dropped it in there. I'm just looking at that seal. I feel it's a bit too low. I'm going to use this plastic glazing shovel. You can pop that under glass. You can wedge it up like that. Move glass, you're not going to break it. So I'm thinking that that's a bit too low. So what I'll do, pop another packer under there like that. Oop, that one's shot out. Doesn't always go right first time. Right, so I put one packer under, but I want it a little bit higher, just so it's sat evenly on that seal. So I'll slide another packer under there, drop it down, it looks good. What I'm going to do then is even that gap out on that. I can see the seal on the outside, and what I'm trying to do, I don't know if you can see it, Adam, I'm trying to even the glass in between the seals, so there's that same amount of seal sticking over both sides. So that's no good, that one there. That looks good. Just push it across with that glass wedge. put that, there we go now. So I push that back so it's sat on them packers now. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to the top of the unit and we're going to pop it across like that. So what I've done then, just going to pop a little, that's a little bit too much. So we'll go for a grey one. Pop that in there like that and just make sure it's pushed all the way to the top, which it is now. Right, so what I've done now is that glass is sat in that bottom corner. It's on 2 packers, bottom and side. So it's now floating off that corner because it's packed there. So what I'm going to do now is look to get a packer in the top there, just using my plastic shovel. There we go, that one's nice and tight. So that one's in there now. So I've packed it there, I've done the same at that diagonal down there. So all the weight of the door is transferred in the diagonal straight like that. There's no weight of the glass down on there. There's no weight of the glass there. So when it opens, that door then will be pushing down on that door frame and prevent it from sagging and dropping. So, next step. What I'm going to do, right, that's my top one, that's my bottom one. So, just going to offer these back into place. There, that one's popped in. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. And what I'm going to do, just going to pop a little packer in there, just to keep that in place like that. So, just keep my hand on that glass, it don't fall off in it to be honest. Right. Again, top one, there we go. You can hear that clip into place. There's no point really in showing you how they clip in because there's different various speeds. If you're using a plastic one, you'll have to hammer it in. If you're using these metal ones, they're going nice and easy, and then you put the seal in with it, so that makes it tight. So you get your 2 shorter ones in first. Right, so we're going to put the gaskets in now. I don't know, can you see that, Adam? Yeah? So what happens is a little ridge on the back of there, the little ridge will sit in there, and then the gasket will slide down behind the glass, and then that part of the gasket there will sit at the top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just roughly measure what I need. I'm going to cut it with a pair of nips. The reason why I've got it in a bag, the floor's full of crap. It picks up crap off the floor, little bits of grit, and then when you're sliding it in there, it scratches your glass. So you either put it in a box or put it in a bag, keep it clean. So what I'm going to do now is put some window cleaner on the glass. It aids in sliding the seals in. So that's slid in lovely there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide it just in there like that. Right, so these packers here, right, I've put them in. I'll get that back in there, slide it across there. So I put them packers in. So what's going to happen with them? So what's going to happen with them packers then? They're pushing the bead to where it wants to be, so that it helps the gasket go in. But what you need to do as well is just leave a little loop past there like that. I'll explain that in a minute. And again, I'm just going to measure that to where I want it. I'm going to cut it with my nips again. So what I'm going to do is push that in there like that. I've pushed it in behind that other seal. So what's happened now, my packers are falling out. Simple reason is because the seal's holding it off. But the reason why I put that little loop there like that is there. I'm now going to push that in. It's now put in a longer gasket than required. So when that gasket shrinks back like they do, you're not going to be left with gaps. So I'll just explain that one more time when we do this long one. So again, I'm just going to roughly measure, get more than what I need. Cut it off with my nips. I've got my 2 packers in. I'm going to spray down some window cleaner, which will aid it sliding in. I'll look at the gasket. There's a little thinner bit on the gasket and a big bit. The thin bit goes in there. So what I'll do now, I'll just push that in there like that. Slide it up to meet that other one. There, that's tight up there now. Bring it down. Give myself a little loop there. Keep pushing it down. Sometimes they go in lovely, sometimes they don't. If you're struggling and it's really cold, then if you get a bucket of warm water and just leave them sat in a bucket of warm water, then they'll be more pliable and you'll be able to get them in easier. So I'll get that down to where it's going, then nip it off with nips, push it in, and then once again, I'm going to push them home. probably left a little bit too much on that one, but managed to get it in anyway. There you go. And get that one out there. Pop that one in. So there you go. Your seal's in. It's got more than it's required because you left the extra loop. So when it shrinks back, it's going to be fine. Top seal's in, side seal's in. What I'm going to do now is continue to seal these doors up in exactly the same way. And then we'll form them up and then we'll show you them working and then that will be job done. Right, so I'm going to put the door magnets on now. It's got two purposes. It holds that door back there by means of a magnet in the wind and it also stops that handle from bashing into the frame there as well. So I've fixed one where that's going. Just going to draw around the other one now. Got a mark there on there. Get the last little bit out. So we're coming to the end of the doors now. We've gasketed them, we've cleaned them, we've fit them up. I'm now going to form them and then I'll show you them working. So this will be the last thing we do. They've also fit with trickle vents, these doors, which help with condensation in the room. They allow a little bit of air to flow in. And there we go, that's on there like that. I'll now look for the body attached to there. Good quality, these, everything about them. So what will happen now, when that door opens, that magnet will hold that door back. There you go. And the handle is clear as well. Up now, I'm going to use this expanding foam. I'm going to use a foam gun rather than out of the can. If you've used one out of a can before and the plastic straw, you'll know they're crap and they go everywhere and they just keep coming out. So investing in one of these, I think the 17 quid is well worth the effort, the money rather. I'm going to form it from both sides. That will provide some sort of thermal barrier as well. So you can see the trickle vents there on the inside. We get two fit on these doors. Helps with condensation build up in the room. And what I'll do now, I'll jump outside and I'll do exactly the same on the outside as well. And then I'll show you them working. Right, so there you go. I fit the doors. I'll show you them working now. So, like I've always said before, they're a top quality door. That'll hit the magnet now and stay. There you go, that stayed. There you go. So, because I've fit them right and they're true and they're plumb, they glide as effortlessly as that. One finger movement. Just show you that again. So I'll tell you what we did. We dried the Aga Protect first so that the silicone had bond to it. We then fit the 190 sill after we put some packers on so we could level it. We fixed through the thermal brake. We then offered the doors up. We set them on packers. We then used our windbags and we trapped the door in place. We then fixed the door frame into the door sill through the thermal brake. And I told you about where the water drips out and drips down. We then fit the left leg with packers, we used the laser. We fit the right leg with packers, and then we went along and we fit the head to the steel as well, which means that the doors are true, plumb and square, and they glide as effortlessly as that. So there you go. That's your demonstration for how to fit your doors. Apologies, we had a sound malfunction today, so what I'm going to have to do now is drop in an older video of me fitting exactly the same window, same technique, just some time ago by a slimmer me, so watch this. This is how you fit your window, and then we'll drop back to normal. Don't know what happened with sound today, but we'll rectify it tomorrow. Right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how we're going to fit this aluminium window. It's 1200 wide, it's 1000 high. The 1200 includes the sill. There's the sill. I'm going to cut the sill to length in a minute. It's an aluminium window. It's got one opener and a fixed pane, and so there's the opening that we've created for it. What we tend to do when we build these, we'll leave 10mm clearance on the height to get it in, and we'll leave 20mm clearance on the sides so that if the building racks slightly when we build it, then we can still put the window in nice and plumb and square. So the sill, the centre sill longer, just in case you want to put a lug on it, which I'll show you what that means. 1 minute. If you ring me and I don't answer the phone, you'll know why, because I'm doing a video. Right, so there's the sill. So what they do, they send it longer so that you can actually put a lug on it. So that's the lug. So that will sit like that. That'll be your building there, and then you'll have 2 lugs on it there, and then your window will sit there. But in this case, we'll put them in square because it's easier for us cladding, and it gives a better detail on our cladding finish. Right, I'm going to cut it with this chop saw. Like I said, it's 1200 long. Now, previously used this blade, so what we're doing, we're swapping the blade backwards and forwards. So I'm going to keep this one for cutting the sills. What I'm going to do is, it kicks off a lot of chipping, so you need to wear safety glasses. There you go. So I'll just explain the sill to you. So this little cap there, it's got a little recess on it. So what happens there, that sits over there nicely. And there you go, it sits over there nicely, and it'll cover any chippings that you've done on your sill. It's also got a thermal break in it. The thermal break prevents the cold transfer coming from the outside, into the room. There's the thermal break. It's made out of plastic. You can see how it's actually putting them little grooves there. It's absolutely solid. There you go. Can't break that. So what we're going to do, we're going to drill through the thermal break and fix it that way. Now, I know some of you guys, you window fitters probably, well, some of you are, I know you are, and you said to me that you shouldn't be fitting through the thermal break. You can break into the room that way, and you should be fitting through the back. But if you look on the internet and Google it, thermal break is advised as where you should be fitting through. So, what we're going to do with this one, there isn't, they haven't put any, what do they call them, Adam? Drain holes. They haven't put any drain holes in the sill for whatever reason, I don't know. So basically, your window 70mm section will sit there, and any water that goes in there will then go into that groove. So what we need to do is drill a little hole in there, which will allow the water to go into the sill, go down to the drip, and then we're going to drill a little drip hole, a little drain hole there, and any water will go down there, in there, and down there, and outside rather than back into the room. Right, so we're going to drill these drain holes in this. What we're going to do, can you see there, Adam? We're going to drill 3 in there. If you watch one of my other videos, you know that all my toolbox has been left open and all my stuff's got rusty. That's why we're using the rusty drill bit. Right, so there's the 3 holes. What that'll allow any water that goes in there to actually run through into the sill. What we're going to do now is we're going to change the drill bit for a smaller one, a brand new one. Should drill a bit better. And what I'm going to do then, I'm going to put the sill on my knee so it doesn't scratch on the floor. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Right, so it's important that we've obviously drilled them holes. You can't see them now, but any water then now will go down there. It'll go through that drip hole. It'll drop into the sill, and then it'll come out the drip on there. But what we need to do now is dam that, and I'm going to show you how we're going to dam it. Right, so we're going to dam the sill now. What happens is, obviously, we've drilled them holes for water to go through. So any water that we don't want the water coming out of here and back into the room. So when I find... So we're going to dam the sill now. What we're going to do, obviously we don't want water dripping in that hole and coming out there like I've said before. So what we're going to do, we're going to fill this with silicone. There we go. That completely full, Adam. I can't see from that angle, isn't it? So we're going to fill that with silicone, and then what we're going to do, we're going to put this little sill cover on, push it down, make sure it's home, and then I'll just get a wipe and just clean it up. You want to just clean it as you go, and then you've not got no silicone left anywhere. get all that silicone off there. The trade wipes, they just clear off silicone, they're really good. So there you go, look, that's, I don't know if I can see that there. You can see that's the end I cut with a saw. You can't see any burrs or anything like that because that sill cap sits over there nicely. So we'll do the same on the other end and then I'll show us fitting the sill. So we're going to use this DeWalt crossline laser to level it. What I'm going to do, so I've sat down on this timber opening that we've created. I'll move my hand there. You can see there, it's approximately 32, 33 mil. I'll put it over there. It's the same. We're the same in the middle. So I'm happy that that's level. So what I'm going to do now, I've already decided where I want the window to go. So I've set my combination square there to the correct depth there. I'll butt that up to there. I'll also put it there. There we go. So I know that's in the correct position now. What I'll do is I'll just get a pencil. Just draw myself a line there so I know where it's getting fixed. Then I'll take the sill off. So I've drawn my line. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a dam of silicone there. I'm also going to put a bead all the way along the bottom. And also a dam there. Just put another bead across there. And that'll prevent any water, any moisture going back into the room. So then I'll get my sill. Offer it back up. Sit it down on the silicone. Oh, you just pull that out for there, Adam. Sit it down on the silicone. And there, I can still see my pencil line on this side, so I'll push that down like that. I'll get my impact driver. Get one of these 100mm screws. And once again, as I said before, I'm going to then fix it through the thermal brake. Now, if you just watch how far I send that down, look. So it's compressed it, but it hasn't broke the thermal brake, and that's what you're looking for. Once again, I'll do it on this side. Make sure I'm on my line, which I am. Again, just sunk it just enough there. Hasn't broke the thermal brake. And then a third one in the middle. And that will be enough to secure that, because it's only a 1200 wide window. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put a blob of silicone just over the top of each screw. Just any moisture that goes into there will then not track down the screw hole. Wet your finger, stops the silicone sticking to your finger. Wet that, put it over. There we go. That's the sill fit. It's been dammed, it's been cut, it's level, we know it's level, so we can offer the window up there. I've left a gap there and I've left a gap there. Like I said, just in case these walls are out slightly, what I can do, I can rack the window then and make sure it goes in nice and straight. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a bead of silicone along that back edge there. And I'm going to then fill them two sides there with silicone as well. So any water that comes down won't track back into the room. And then I'll offer the window up into place. I'll pull it back to this little lip here. It'll compress the silicone and then seal the back against the sill. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fill that now with silicone. Stop any water coming back into the room. Same on this side as well. And then what I'm going to do then is put myself a bead of silicone right down the back of that sill there against that upstand. And then that will then bond to the window when the window goes in. I've put the 1mm packers, window packers on there, and if you watch me fit the doors you'll know why. It's so when I offer the door up it doesn't scratch the sill, the window, sorry. When I offer the window up it doesn't scratch the sill. So what I'm going to do now is offer this up. I'll send it out first. There we go. I'm going to sit it on the packers, which I have done. Pull it back in. Pull it back up to that bead of silicone I put on there. I can see it's compressing now, so what I'll do now is have a look and make sure we're all right there. I'll get my packers. Pull them out. And there you go. That's, I mean, we've seen our window. our window fitter do that, and it's a no-brainer. We used to panic about lifting them up. We didn't want to scratch the sill. So what happens now is that window now is sat fully on that sill. It's gone on. There's no scratches, no damage. So what I'll do now, I'll locate the window centrally. You see it's sticking over there. I'll locate it centrally to the sill. Obviously that's that end cap there. The silicon's still wet, but that'll hold on. And there, it's in place now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put my laser level on it, and I'm going to plumb it. Because it's quite a small window, and obviously it's aluminium, it's not going to rack that way because it's rigid, it's built that way. So what I'll need to do now is plumb it this way, and I'll fix it. I'll show you us fixing it. I'll get some packers in, we'll make sure it opens and closes. Then we'll fit the glass, we'll toe and heel them, and I'll show you how we do that as well. So if you look there, that's the lip of the sill, the little lip I ran about, and what it's done now, it's just pushed the silicone up. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean that off there. Like I say, you're better off cleaning it as you go, and then you're not going to forget in it and be left with silicone everywhere. But what I'm doing, I'm just keeping my hand on window just to stop it from falling out. It won't though, because the sill's flat and we're sat on the flat sill, and it's bonded on silicone as well. So there you go. That's the window sat on the sill now. So I've got my laser there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put these packers in there like that. And then I'm going to make sure they go right through to the other side. So then what I'm going to do then, I'm going to get my 100mm screws. I'm going to fix through the thermal seal again, because that's the best place to fix it. Obviously the thermal seal's plastic. I don't know if Adam can come round there. I've just compressed that there, but not broke the thermal seal. So that's got a fix on that one there. We know that's good. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to open the window and not do what I did on the video that I deleted. I actually screwed the window shut. So I'll open the window, and then I'll find my right packers. As I said with the packers before, what you want is the least amount of packers for the size required. So let's say it's 10mm. You don't want 10 1mm packers. You want 2 5mm packers. It's a lot more sturdy. So I'll get them in place like that. Let's pop them there. I'll get another screw. Again, using these 4-inch torque screws. Let's try and send it through. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm just pulling it back onto that lip there because I don't want it to move forward. So what I've done, I've set the laser up there. So what I'll do, again for clarity, what I did last time, I don't know if I can jump to the side. I'm just going to hold that there. He's on laser. I'll just hold that there. I'll just mark where that is, just for clarity. Normally use a tape measure, but obviously it's a lot easier to do it this way and show you it on the white packer. So there you can see. So what I need to do now is obviously bring that window back to there. So what I'll do, I'm just holding that in place now, where it's supposed to be. Just mark that up. Right, so I've got the right size packers. So what I'm going to do, I know the window is not going to be racked because it's quite a small window and it's quite square. So what I'll do now, I'll get them packers in place like that. Make sure they go through to the other side as well. I'll get my screw ready. Get it started. Again, you need to screw sort of where the packers are going. I can see my line that I've already put on there. Just going to pull the window to the line. Again, not over compress that. Just put it in so it's just right. So I'll just get my line there and check my line. Which one was it? There we go. You can see that. Stick it up there. There you go. So that's dead plumb is that now. Right, so there's my laser. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my white packer. Get one that I haven't got a mark on. And stick that there like that. So I'm butting it to the window. Just marking it there, just for clarity so you can see it. And then what I'll do there, look, I can see it windows out. So what I need to do is pull that window into there, so that it's right. So what I'll do, I'll get my packers. Again, least amount of packers for the size required. So a couple of blue ones. You get these, are about, I think they might have been 30 quid for a bag, but there's loads in the bag that'll do you for your job. That's a bit loose, is that? There we go, that's nice and tight. So what I'm going to do is just bang them in. In fact, it's too tight. So what I'm going to do is take them back out, swap one of them black ones for a green one. There we go, loads better. Right, get me white. What I'll do, I'll get a screw started. So I've started my screw off. I'm going to get my window there. Look, I've got my packers in, they're nice and tight. I'll just squeeze it over there. There, so it's dead on that line there. And we know that then is plumb. Again, not over compress it, just squeezed it up. What I'll do the same again, I'll put another packer there and fix there in the middle. I'll just check that window closes, which it does lovely. So there we go, I'll put them packers in there. We know that window's nice and secure. I've not screwed down into the sill. It's silicone to the back there. It's fixed to the wall. We're going to form it in as well. So because we're not screwing down the sill, then there's no danger of any water going down into the sill. So there you go, I've put a fix in there, a fix in there, a fix in there. I've replicated it on that side. I've put one there, and one in the middle. I've also fixed my sill down. What we'll do now, we'll form this gap as well when we finish, but we're going to glaze it first before we form it, just because it'll be bouncing around when we glaze it. So this is a fixed pane. You'll notice I've not put one in the top. When we form that, the foam will be sufficiently strong enough to hold it, and also we've got a reveal on that side and a reveal on that side, so the window's never going to move or come out. Like I say, that's an opening window. This is a fixed pane, so we're going to fit this one first. The way these windows have been designed is that both panes are the same size. So when I take my bead out, I'm going to take them out and I'm going to put them to the side, so I know one's left, one's right. Because what happens sometimes, if they're cut and they're slightly different, then there can be a bugger to go in. So that's my top one, that's my bottom one. I'll just show you these beads, Adam. So what happens with this bead, it's got a little lip there, which sits in there, and then it's got another little lip there, and when you force it in, that compresses. Can you see that compressing? Or that, yeah. That compresses and then jams it in there, and that little recess there is for the window seal to sit in the gasket. They've already been pre-gasketed on the outside, you can see that there. So we need to fix these in and then get them gasketed on the inside, which I'll show you as well. So that's my bottom one. I'll put that down there out of the way. We know where that one's going in. The glass from this company, Express Bifolds we use in Leeds. It's been polished on the edge there, so it's not sharp. I can put my hand along that as hard as I want. It won't cut me. Sometimes it's got tape on, but show a bit of caution because sometimes it's sharp. They've got travel packers on, these little red things to stop the glass scratching against each other, and all the glass should have a sticker on telling you it's argon filled and which way, because it has a reflective coating on, and one side needs to face the room and one side needs to face outwards. On this particular case, there you go, coated glass, glaze label to outside. So that's the glaze label, that's going to the outside. So we know that. That'll go that round. So again, good quality window company. They've already got some packers in there to keep the glass actually off the frame. We'll offer that into place. Fits like a glove. We'll make sure that left and right, it's nice, it's evenly spaced. What we're going to do as well, we're just going to put a couple of packers in the top there just to keep it in place and hold that frame up. You particularly want to do this if you've got a UPVC window, because what happens come summertime, the top of the head will sag, and if you haven't packed it, it will sag down on the glass when it heats up, and it looks a dog, especially if it's a big window. But these are aluminium, we don't have that problem here, but we're just going to put them in there just to trap the glass in place, which is now trapped in place. Don't ask me about that. You can see it's toughened glass as well. I don't know if Adam can see that there. Can you see that little toughened sign? No. Anyway, there's a little etching on there to say it's toughened glass. So we'll get his bottom bead. Generally, when you bead the windows, the smaller beads go in first. If they're UPVC, they are often mitered as well, but these are aluminium, so they're square. Now, it's still quite cold today. It's been snowing and fingers are a bit numb. I can barely feel them, so what I'm going to just try and get that in. There we go. You heard it clicking. I've actually, I've put that bead in the silicone. I'm just going to clean that off because obviously we don't want no silicone on the glass, and I've also got silicone in the groove, which we need to get out. There we go, that's clean. Again, offer it into place. You just see that so we're offering that first little clip in first. We'll offer that one in, and then when I push that up, you just kind of got it somewhere near square and somewhere near on an angle. There we go, it's a little sweet spot, and then you can hear it. There you go, clicked in like that. So there's them two in. It's not going to fall out now. We'll get the side beads in as well, and then I'll show you how we can tone heel this window. And then what we'll do, we'll put the gaskets in. I'll show you them going in. We'll foam it up, and that'll be your window fit. So side bead. Again, that's gone in lovely, that. If there was a mil difference in that and you swapped them over, then you don't want to be putting them in and scratching the other beads that have gone in. There you go, you had that pop in as well. See if this one goes in as easy. Right, so there you go. What's happened there? Can you see that, Adam, if I put my hand there? It's like just like a half a mil too big, but it's not actually too big. What's happened is, because that's gone in there, that one's at an angle like that, that bottom one's at an angle like that, and it's then made that distance there smaller than that bead. So what we're going to do to get around that, we're going to get some packers. We're going to replicate. Right, what I'm using there is a plastic shovel. It's a glazing shovel. I'm going to force that glass over there, and what I'm going to do now is drop a packer in there. There we go. And what I'll do is I'll slide that over there. And what that's now done, it's got stuck. I can't feel my fingertips, mate, can you? What that's now done, it then makes the bead square instead of angled like it was because it was tilted. We'll do the same on the top and there, and then hopefully now that bead that was a second ago too long should go in a little bit easier now because it's square, and it doesn't. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my glasses back on, and I'm going to take the smallest little bit off this with the chop saw. Because it's burred it a little bit. What I need to do now is just run my knife along there. Just get the burr off there. I've took off the smallest little fraction. So I'm going to now offer that into place and see how that one goes. There, it's dropped in now, look. Still a little bit. There we go. Force that one in. So there we go. That one's fully beaded now. I've shown you how to get the beads in. I'm going to tone heel this window now because it's an opening window, and I'll explain tone heeling to you as well. So we're going to fit the opening window now, fit the glass into that. So you can see there the handle, I'm going to have to lighten the video, it's very dark obviously we're looking outside. The handle is fixed into the bead. So what you need to do to fix these ones is take the handle off. What I'll do is open the window. But what we also want to do and all now is, firstly, not lose the screws. So what I'll do, I'll then close that window now. That's then trapped that screw in that hole, but it's also trapped the window shut, which is what we want. We don't want the window opening when we're trying to fit the glass. So I'll take the handle off. I'll put that down there so it doesn't get lost. Now this bead now, there, has come off, but there you can see there. Can you see that better, Adam, now? So the handle's actually drilled into the bead. So obviously there's going to be no issue mixing them ones up. That's my bottom bead, and that's my top one. Right. Toe and heeling. If you've not watched my door video, my door installation video, then what I've explained basically is that's your hinge side. So like a garden gate, you need to put a brace in, a diagonal brace. So when that window opens, it's going to want to sag under the weight of the glass. So if you put packers there and there to support the glass, so this is floating, then all the pressure is downward onto the hinge side. It's called toe and heeling, and it will then enable when the window opens, there'll be no downward pressure because it'll be pushing on this corner and it'll always stay true and it'll always shut nice for you. So, again, glass. The only reason why I put my gloves on is because I can't feel my fingertips anymore. We'll take these little travel packers off. They're there to stop the glass scratching against each other. And we know from the last window that the sticker wants to point outside. So we'll get that ready there. Give it a little bit of clean, get any muck and crap off the edges. We're good to go. Right, so off of that window, get it past the lock like that. Offer it into place. Don't want to go. Right, there we go. So, tone healing. What we're going to do now, again, get the plastic shovel. Get some various different size packers out of there. Give that plastic shovel a wipe, because you get any grit on it, it'll start scratching your glass. Now, I don't know if Adam can see, you probably can't, but what I'm trying to do is get the glass centralised to the seal outside, so you can see the black insert on the double glazing, and we're centralising that. So I'm happy that's centralised there. Right, I'm constantly keeping a bit of pressure on the glass, and the reason why for that is I don't want the glass to fall out the window. So I'm just going to pop that over like that a touch, stick that packer in there, send it back over there. Now what I want to do now is lift it up. So what I'm going to do again, put another black packer, because I know that's a good size. I've lifted the glass up with the glass shovel, popped it under. Right, so I've got that corner pack now. There's none on that, but the glass is now leaning that way. So what I need to do now is get another packer there. I'll have a look. I think white might be too big, personally. No, white's a good size. I've got my white packer in there, and now the key ones now are getting the packers in at the top. So I'm going to get that one in. It doesn't fit, but I know that it's going to fit. So what I'm going to do is just force the window up a little bit. Pop the packer in there. So what's happened now, I've got packers there, packers there, packers there, packers there. I've got now a diagonal brace created on the glass, just like a garden gate should be. And then when that window opens then, any pressure will be down on that hinge side, which will prevent the window from sagging over. So we're going to go for the beads now. Get the bottom one in first. I might have to take my gloves off for this because it's a little bit fiddly. So again, got my head against the glass. A little bit tricky. There you go, you heard that one pop in. Once I get the top one in, I know I can let go of the glass, it ain't going to fall out then. Again, that's gone in that side, your lyrics pop in now. There you go. So it ain't going to fall out. What I can do now is get my side beads in as well, and I'll show you how to put the handle back. Sometimes the lock side, it can be a bit of a pain to get it in. Let's see how easy it goes in. Right, so it's slipped in height-wise lovely. So what's happening is, because obviously, I've got my back in, obviously, I've clicked it in there, that's good, but then where the lock is then, because it's weakened because of that notching that's taken out, it doesn't want to go in the back there. So it's just popped out the bottom now, I don't know if you heard that. I'll try and get back in again. That's in. There we go, that's popped in, so that's in lovely. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to pop the handle back on. Offer that into place. Like I said, try not to lose the screws. Get that in. I'm not going to over tighten that because when I want to put that seal back in, I want to make sure that flexes properly. So there we go. There's my handle on. So I'll just make sure window opens as well, which it does. It's a good mechanism on this, absolute top quality window as well. So you can see that lovely opening window there. Locks beautifully. So we know we've done the right job there. We've chosen nailed it. We've put us packers in. That's all good. We're happy with that. What we'll do now, we'll put the gaskets in, and once the gaskets in, I'll form it up, and then the window will be complete. Right. So this is the window seal. It's got a little red line there. That indicates what side that it needs to go into that little groove on the bead, and then that will then sit against the window and seal it in. So what we're going to use, we've got us packer in there to space it off. You can see the little space in there. We're going to use some window cleaner, which helps it slide into place. I've cut this too long, and the reason for that is because it shrinks back a bit. So what we want to do is get that in there, but first, before we do that, we need to get some packers in there like that. What I'm going to do now is slide that seal in past through there, so it's actually gone into the rebate of the window, because they do shrink back, as I've said. There, you can see that's gone in lovely there. So what I'll do, I'm using a pair of electrician's nips, but use a pair of scissors or whatever. I'm going to cut that too long, and then offer that in like that. And what I've done there, I've also left an extra bit there, so when I pull that out, when I push that extra bit in there, it will push it along a little bit further. So that's your bottom seal in there. What I'll do now, I'll do the side ones. I'll just show you the side ones as well. What we need to do is, again, get yourself a packer in there. So what we've got two packers holding the bead back and creating a gap for us to get our seal in. So again, I'll get my seal. I'll cut it more than what I need in length. There we go. Again, I'll get myself some window cleaner. Applicate that. So I'm looking at the little red line. I know I've got it the right way around. Offer that one in there. It's gone in nice. Push it up a little bit further than what it needs to be. And now I'm going to leave a little loop there. Well, not a loop as such, but more like a little extra bit. And the purpose of that is, when I come to take them packers out, I've got a seal which is then too long. So, yeah, a bridge as such. And then what I'm going to do now is just cut that to right length there. Pop that in. So it's touching there, it's touching there. When I take them out now, I've then got an extra bit. So the seal is longer than what's required now, which is what we want. Stop it actually shrinking back. Again, let's get the side on there. Put the packer in there, like that. We know that's good, that's good. Get my seal. Cut it too long. Offer it up, red bit to the side. Oh, window cleaner. Helps lube it and slide it in. There we go, push that up to where it wants to go. Left my little bridge. Slided that down. Another little bridge. Nips. Cut it off to length. Pop it in. Remove the packer. Get the seal in properly. Like that. And there we go. So that's sealed there, that's sealed there, that's sealed there. It's got its gasket in all the way around apart from the top, which I'll just get in now. Again, plastic shovel, couple of quid. You're not going to break your glass. Does the job required. Great bit of kit. Cut my seal too long, so this is the last seal that's going in now. Window cleaner. In we go with that. Push it tight up to the other gasket. Leave my loop. Leave my loop. Nips. Cut it. There we go. Send it in. So what's going to happen now, I'm going to pull these two packers out. They've come out easy because the gasket is pushing the window bead back. Take that one out. Push them back in. There we go. That's done there. All that's left to do now is clean that glass. That's in. It's gasketed. It's solid. It's toughened glass. It's packed. We're going to do exactly the same on this one, but I'm just going to skip past that bit. And then what we're going to do is foam them up. Right, so we've fit the window. All that's left to do now is seal the window. What I'm using this gun grade expanding foam. Now, if you've used a can of foam before with the plastic straw on top, you know that it goes everywhere and it just keeps pumping out and it's a bloody nightmare. These guns, I think they're about £17 or something like that. And the control you've got over the foam is second to none. So this is what you want to buy if you're going to fit one of these. What I'm going to do, I'm going to foam them from both sides. The foam then, gets a really good grip of the window. I know some of you will have had windows fit at home and they won't have even screwed them in. What they'll have done, they'll have packed them and formed them, but believe me, that window ain't going nowhere. It gets such a good grip. So what I'll do, like I said, I'll form that from outside. Adam will just nip out with me now and I'll just show you that and I'll just have a little talk with you about what we've done. So, if you haven't watched my door video, bifold doors, I'll put a link at the end of this video for the door fitting video. It's practically the same as this. The key thing is to get your sill right. Once your sill is right, then everything will fall into place. So what we've done, we've got the sill down, we've dammed the sill, we drilled the holes in the sill because they weren't already pre-drilled. We've siliconed it down, we've screwed it down. We knew that our sill was dead right. Then what else we did then? We put the frame on, we put silicone at the back of the little upstand there, we pulled it tight to that. We've fixed them, we've packed it, we've fixed and packed it on that side. We've not fixed through into the sill. Obviously then you're going to have no water problem then coming through. We've put the glass in, I've showed you how to glaze the window, I've showed you how to put the gasket in, and I showed you how to tone heel the window. So there's now a diagonal brace running from that corner to that corner, so when that window opens there, for all intents and purposes, there'll be no weight coming down and it will stay good and it will always open and shut properly. So that's it, that's your window installation fully complete. So your plasterboard in there, you can see, look, John's already marked on the ceiling where the upside down joist hangers are because obviously they're a bit of a pain to screw through. So we're going to avoid them. Now you do get a little step in them because obviously you've got your upside down joist hanger, yeah, and then you've got your twist nail on it as well, but the plaster is going to get over that absolutely no problem at all. So you can see where they are there, so I'm just going to go in between them like that and work my way along. If David can see there on that consumer unit where John's cut round it, and what he's done there is we've recessed it back a little bit, so although it's not fully recessed, it's certainly less offensive than the other one. And what we've done as well with these speaker cables there, they're in that back, they're going to come out of the back socket there, and they are pullable, so if you do get damaged you could attach one on there and pull it through, because I created a little track in there so that you can do that, but I'll put two in just as an emergency backup. So this wall here, she's having a TV on now. Remember we put the mattresses in to carry the TV. Now we've forgotten what height we've put them in. So basically, all I've just done is go down with a drill like that, and then I've hit the OSB there. So I know the mattress is there, somewhere there. So that's the OSB, so that'll be the bottom of the socket. So I've leveled the line across like that. Now I know she's getting a 50-inch TV. This is just a plastic Appleby back box, double back box. You stick it on your level line like that, draw around it, multi-tool it out, which I'll do in a minute, and then we'll show you how that clips back. They're super easy. And I know some of you like to put the metal ones in, but I don't know why you're bothering because it's not an issue. Right, she's having a slatted wall on here. So what we want is these sockets to run through dead in line so that they're sat both on the same slatted wall. Is that your height there, top, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what will happen now is he's already drawn that out, but he'll move that across there now because that's where that one wants to be. And this one exactly the same as well. Wants to be dead in line with it so that they're sat on the same slats. Even though you're not going to be able to see these because... Why were you seeing, John? Because they'll be on TV, aren't they? Yeah. But we want them to look right. So I'm going to pop that on there now like that. I'm going to draw around that box there. So that's the double. I'm going to move that single across to there. I don't know why I put my single that far across, John. I just not realised that you've drawn yours at the bottom and just gone for it, haven't I? So there are your lines there that you want to be cutting out. And if you remember, this noggin here, we cut it out, didn't we? So what will happen is that'll have a brush plate on. So basically, be a face plate with just a little black bristle brush on, and we'll have a draw cord going straight down there and straight out of that one, so she can get a HDMI lead and pull it through. But what we might do, John used some fixed HDMI plates, didn't you, on Yorkie's job, yeah? And it's actually a plate with a HDMI lead on the back. Now, do you need big clearance on the back? How is it, right angled? I can't remember.
No, right angled. Was
it right angled? So we may actually use that, but you've got to plug another US HDMI into it, haven't you?
Yeah.
So we will have to buy a cable and maybe tuck it in the wall. Possibly, yeah. So we might go down that option, or we might go brush plate, yeah, I'm not sure. So let's just cut one out quickly. Yeah. Thank you. Get rid of with that. What we're going to do now is, because we're going to drill through this, take the thing out the back there, pop it in like that. Of course, I've made it too tight on a jump. And then them lugs go in there like that, and that's fixed. Now, I appreciate everybody doesn't have a multi-tool. So what you can do, or you can buy a pad saw, but you've already got a knife, haven't you? Cut that out like that. Right, so this brush plate now, we know that we're going to feed it from the top. So what we're going to do, I'll cut that out like that, deburr that, and that will go in there like that now. What we'll do, we'll pierce that plastic. That will go in there like that, and then we know that we can push a cable down to get through that hole. We'll do exactly the same with the top one, but cut the bottom out of it so we can access both of them back boxes, just like that. Right, so you've got your single back box there, so we're going to try and fish a lead up. So I've just literally got one of these screws, dropped it on a bit of string, and I'm going to just drop it down, and hopefully that'll go where I want it to go. There you go. You just pull that out, just John. And there's my draw cord. So what we will do, we will leave that. We'll tie this bit to the back of the top box, and then we can use that to pull our HDMI leads through. That's tied on there. I'll drop that down there. That'll go like that, and then we can recover that afterwards. Yeah, so what John always does, and it makes sense, is gone round with a little bit of masking tape, and he's just covered up the screw holes there for the face plates, because when the plasterer comes, with all the best will in the world, he's going to get a little bit in here and there, and that just saves that. You can just pull it off then and clean it up. So that's your draw line in. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. We know that's accessible. It's just hanging at the back. We'll put that one there so the HDMI can go through there, and we'll be able to fish one out later. Nice and easy. Decent job. Right, we're going to board the reveals now. So obviously John's been round and boarded the outer wall there. The window's in. I've pushed the foam back or pulled it off where I need to be, and I've cut the packers back as well. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to put this plasterboard on. Now the window's 1200, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it tight to one side there, and then we will be able to drop the leg down and cover that gap then. Can I have a few more of these little ones, John? Just drag my knife along there like that, and then just come up here, look, put my fingers there, bend it up like that, and just score along that groove. And that will be one layer of board. Right, the problem we've got with this is now is, you see the back stand there, yeah? So we're going to try and get rid of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 3 layers of plasterboard to get up past there, and then my sill will sit up there. But we'll do the sides first. So I'm going to drop this side in, do exactly the same as we did with top. Then measure it, it's about 1,000. So that's my 1,000. Again, just cutting the end of the board, look, just got the tip of the knife in it. Just break the paper, break the top of the plasterboard right a little bit. Bend it over, cut it off. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put that machine edge there, tight to the window frame. Yeah. I'm not sure why I've cut that short, nobody knows. 10mm rule there, John. There we go. Right, what'll happen is, he'll put his plastering beads on there and he'll tidy all that up for me. No problem, so I'm not worried about that. So that's one's on there. John's going to cut that one. I'm now going to throw one on the top. What I'm going to do with this one, a little bit different. Can I have that pencil again, John? And hold that up there like that. Yeah. And I'm going to mark that side there. I'm going to mark that side there, and now I'm going to transfer them lines through because I don't want to be fannying around and putting it up on top there. Put the tidy edge to the window. Don't pop it in now, John, so I can butt it up to it. Are you about right there?
I'm a little bit short.
Right, what I'm going to do with this one, because I'm going to overboard that, because you see I've got a gap up there, look, where my window is. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put another board on it. Is that ready to be fixed, John?
Yeah, ready to fix it. Fix it.
Because I want to get rid of that gap. Yeah, so John's rasping the plasterboard. He's got a rasp in his hand. It's just like a grater, like a cheese grater. Just show the bottom of that blade, John. Just like a cheese grater, and it just smooths off any imperfections in your board.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, so I'm going to put that extra bit in the top there, because I've got a little gap where my opening's just a little bit too big. So I'm going to conceal that with that. Obviously, he'll skim over that and then that'll be gone forever, so that's absolutely fine. Just want to make sure that we ain't got any gaps that we're having to go around and seal after it's been plastered, because what we want him to do is come in, skim it, and then all we want to do, or John wants to do, is go around and caulk his skirting board, and that'll be job done, won't it? Right, so bottom one there, look, I've got one layer on it. Now what's going to happen is my sill's going to touch that. My sill is about, would you say 20mm thick, John? It's about that in it. Yeah. So we're just going to see the top of it and we're not going to have a gap. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick another layer on top of there like that. And you can see the little upstand now. You can still see it, but what's going to happen then is, I'll show you now. Can I look at that one? So that'll go on there like that. He'll skim that in for me. And then, I'll show you what will just happen now with sill. That's that. Right, the sill. Get a proper pen out for you. Right, so there's the plasterboard. Right, this is a picture of, that's the sill outside, yeah. It's got that little upstand, so the window's stood there like that, isn't it, yeah? So I've got that little upstand to contend with. Now, what I've done is I've put 2 layers of plasterboard on, so I'm now up to there like that. 2 layers of plasterboard. I've still got a little lip there, but my sill, it'll have a bull nose at the front, and when it goes back, what I'll do is cut it back like that. Back cut it. So that tip there, well then, I'm going to have to exaggerate this now. So I'll have plasterboard there like that, and then my upstand on my sill there, and it'll be covered, and that will butt tight up to the window, and then that'll be all gone, so you won't see that. So that's what you want to be doing there, is get 2 layers on there, so that can be back cut, and then you won't see it, because we will put a sill on there. It'll stick forward 25mm, it'll hang over 25mm, have 2 lugs on it, it'll sit on there. John will paint it up and it'll look fantastic. That is it. Right, so we've got all those back boxes in, we're plasterboarded. We've got our track in for our flush mounted LED strips. We've also got our spotlights in. We've got our consumer unit, which is semi-recessed, so it looks a lot better than it did before. Light switch obviously there. John's put the back box in for double sockets. Over there is the heater, just behind that white thing there. And this here will be the TV wall, which will be the feature wall. So what we've done is we've plumbed them dead through in line with each other, so when this slatted wall goes on, the faceplates are dead in line. And not sure I'm going to finish yet, but I'm probably going to make a little slatted box out of the excess material, so that we've got like a little picture frame on there, because otherwise you have gaps behind and you see the back box, but not sure how we're going to do that yet. The price you're about to hear does not include doors and windows, but I'll explain why in another later video. But this is simply for the build up to date without the doors and windows, so that's the price you're going to hear. 3 metres wide, 2.5 metres deep. We have got it to a stage now where it just needs skimming and it needs cladding. We've got it to a stage now where it needs skimming and cladding. We're obviously going to put a step in, a little path. I'm going to put some flooring, but we've got to this stage now. Now on Thursday, I told you we'd spent shy of £3,000. I am going to give you a full breakdown as we get towards the end as well. I'm going to estimate now, plasterboards and that, John, was about 160 quid it cost us, didn't it? I can't remember either. I'm going to estimate 3,500 with the electrics to get us to this stage. And I've got the LEDs, I've got the lamps. Sorry, I haven't got the LED strip. I've got the lamps, but we need switches. I've got the consumer unit. I've got the transformer. So 3.5 grand to get to this stage. Everything you need is in the build pack. Like I said before, all the materials, apart from the specialist stuff like the LED track, they're all itemised in the build pack. So you can save yourself literally thousands of pounds to buy a unit like this off a reputable company who are paying VAT, got overheads and stuff like that. You're going to be talking £20,000, £3,500 to get to this stage. We'll get the plasterer in, not sure what you'll charge as of yet, and then we're going to get some cladding on as well. So we've also got to run some cables from the house, but it's a pretty easy, fairly straightforward run. And John is going to talk you through connecting up the internet and all, because I know a lot of you are interested in that. So please like and subscribe, yeah? I know a lot of you watching this and you don't subscribe. It takes 1 second to hit that subscribe button and you can help me to get to 100,000, which I'm not far off, I suppose. So that would be great. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.